Oh, here it goes.
Look at that background.
Look at that.
Look at that white bar to solve the problems.
The white bar actually looks good.
Yeah.
Kudos. Kudos to white bar.
I know some graphic design. A bit.
I mean, Ethan knows from white.
What?
What?
Okay.
I don't know. It's whatever you want it to be, man.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
You guys can't kill each other till the end of the podcast. That's the grand finale.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll keep the tension going of will they, won't they kill each other.
Keep the sexual tension
I mean,
going,
it could be a sexual tension or a killing each other tension. They're pretty much the same thing.
Similar thing.
If you think about it.
A lot of emotions.
Passion is what passion is.
Passion is what passion is.
Wait, no. If True Blood has told me anything.
Yeah, that's a good
example. A+.
Hello and welcome to the Pixel Podcast. My name is Matt, and I'm here with Ethan.
Hey, how's it going?
Who is more gritty and grim this week?
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
And how is Ricardo?
Hey, I'm feeling pretty good too.
And what's Amber feeling?
It's as big as my balls.
What is?
Her feeling.
Her feeling is as big as her balls.
How you doing? As big as my balls.
I'm glad we're all feeling
people.
Feeling big today.
It's
big ball, that big ball energy. That's what I want. You know, everyone's talking about that big dick energy, but what about that big ball energy?
Big ball energy. Balls as big as my balls.
You know, that old saying.
It didn't take long for this podcast to go.
Nah,
to get better. I don't know what you're talking about.
There you go. It's because I'm here.
To get smart. What are you doing? What are you doing over there? Your webcam situation.
I'm putting the giving us a little less headroom. We had too much headroom.
Max headroom.
Are you in Ricardo? Ricardo, were you doing like a Hobbit trick right there, or like forced perspective? Were you like, hi there, large Ethan? You are so much taller than I am.
I'm like pretending to play. I'm pretending to play the guitar in the background.
That's the tiny guitar.
Do they, Gandalf?
Ethan is a lot taller.
This is great. This is great podcast material. Audio media.
Ricardo does look like noticeably smaller.
Check out the webcam footage. Sorry, if you go to twitch.tv/pixel_legends, you'll get to see.
This is the hard sell. If you're not watching the Twitch stream, you're not getting the whole picture.
So we do mostly audio, but occasionally a visual.
Occasionally, visual gag needs to come on.
Yeah, those were words.
Visual gags.
How many drinks has Ethan had before?
I don't think he had any.
We're stone sober.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Stone cold sober.
We're stoned and sober, and we're ready to not drink and we're ready to not drive because every podcast has been talking about that recently.
Don't get high and drive. Get high, get a DUI. That's what it says at the end.
Yeah, that's what it says.
That's what Jeff
Get
Gerstmann
4
tells me.
hymns.
And Alex Navarro.
That's what literally everyone tells me.
Get 4 hymns. I just here to get 4 hymns.
Well, you get special ads dictated based on your search history, I guess.
Yeah.
On your podcast search history.
Yes.
We don't want to talk about this podcast search history.
Do we have any sponsors this week?
Nope.
The
Moving
sponsor
on.
this week. The sponsor this week is Puddles.
Puddles. Step in them, will ya?
We hear they're drying up, and we want to protect them
Puddles. They reflect light. They're good
until they're not.
until there's less of them, and then
Puddles. Sometimes deceptively deep.
Be careful. Puddles. Make sure to wear boots around them.
Your galoshes.
Your Wellingtons.
Puddles.
Ethan,
They're wet.
You've been playing the Long Dark.
I've been
and
playing a
I can't
little bit
think
of
of a
Long
good
Dark.
segue to Puddles.
You
but
can make your own puddles in that game.
wow, by peeing?
Yeah, I was
Is it a
gonna say
survival game and you
No,
pee?
it's by
Okay.
melting snow
No.
to drink.
By peeing
Okay.
on it?
By
No,
peeing
you
on
don't
the
pee
snow
on
to
it.
heat it up.
This is
Yeah,
not
you put it
real
in a
life.
can.
So what is the Long Dark? I feel like we've seen a
So
trailer for this a long time
it came
ago.
out I think last year. It is a survival game, but this is kind of one of the ones that's been kicking around since I think 2014. So it's been in development for probably
Yeah, this has
years.
been. I remember seeing. I've seen footage of this game.
Yeah,
This
and
game's ages.
the it's got an interesting art style, and I think when they released it, they actually put a single player element to it, like a story, I guess. There's always a single player, but now it's like a story. And I've been playing through that, which I kind of feel like I wish I would have just played the main survival mode, because it's kind of doles out like survival stuff very sporadically, and it
Incrementally.
just feels like kind of like a really, 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 really long tutorial.
Mhm.
Okay.
But what is cool about this game, as opposed to other survival games, is it's at least tries to be grounded in like a realistic survival setting. So
Okay.
you just get stranded in the mountains, like high up in the
You're
kinda
like in like the Alaskan
yeah,
wilderness.
Alaskan
something like that.
wilderness.
Like, I don't know if that's exactly where you are.
I think
looks
you're
like-
right. It's something around
looks
there.
like-
I don't think it's ever mentioned. And you just get stranded there. And it's very much like, okay, the stuff you have to worry about is like wolves and dying of not finding water in time, or keeping warm, or
Food?
or food or water.
So it's kind of
yeah.
like a darker Hatchet or something like that.
Kinda. It's. Let me just put it this way: is one of the main mechanics is finding like a container. You find the container, and then you can grab some snow and put it next to the fire, which, depending on how hot the fire is, will boil the water, which you need to boil. You can drink it not boiled, but it might get you sick because
Might get you
it could be
sick.
Okay,
contaminated.
yeah. That sounds
sa-
fairly realistic.
Yeah, same with the meat. Like, you could eat raw meat if you want, but they recommend cooking it. But of course, that gets rid of some takes some time, so it'll take your fuel for your wood. So you're constantly looking for wood and trying to get fire. And I think what I like about it is just that it feels much like, oh yeah, this is like a lot of stuff that I kind of learned in Boy Scouts doing like survival stuff. And it's
Right,
like, oh, it's
right.
kind of cool. I actually get to use some of this stuff in practice, because I'm not going to get lost in the wilderness in real life.
That you
That's
think.
what literally
This'll never
everyone who's
happen to
ever been
me.
lost in the wilderness has said, I will not get lost.
You're
in
right.
the
Good point. I take that back, Ricardo. I
Yep.
could get lost in the wilderness. But yeah, it's very thoughtful, and like, okay, you're kind of working with your basics here and just trying to get your basic needs and surviving day to day. The story itself is weird. It has like cutscenes that are kind of coolly done, like they're hand drawn. But they're kind
Okay.
of like
That
weirdly
sounds-
animated, kind of like, you know how they're flat and it would kind of just move your hand and it won't have any like depth, but their heads
Like
have depth. They're like
Flash.
3D, kind of like Flash, but they're really
Flash.
well painted. So still they look beautiful, and then you see their
okay.
faces move and you're like, these faces are a little stiff, but it looks really cool. But it's basically like a basic story of like, you're a guy and you have this history with this woman who wants
am a
to
guy.
get a thing to another thing, so you try to fly a plane, but then you crash and you don't know why. You know the characters' backstories, so
It is like Hatchet.
it's whatever.
Figure it out.
Yeah, it's fun so far. I definitely want to dig in a little bit more into the actual survival game itself, and I think I'll report back more on that, because I feel like I've just scratched the surface, and it seems like kind of the more survival game I was looking for, where it's not really all about building, it's about actually just trying to scrape by, and like that is a core central mechanic. It's not like the survival stuff is bolted on because they have like kind of like a shell of the game. It's just like, well, what if you also had to worry about this stuff? You know, because I feel like No Man's Sky kind of has that stuff more bolted on than it is like a main part of it, because that stuff gets trivialized
Right.
after a while. Well, this is all about like,
Yeah, it's kind of funny how a lot of games that are like characterized as those survival games, when you actually look at the way they're trying to sell the game, a lot of times it is like, look at this cool, crazy thing you can build. Like, look at all this crazy stuff that you can build and have in this like open world sandbox.
It comes
sort
to
of thing.
Minecraft, the kind
Yeah,
of
Minecraft,
Yeah.
even like Ark is
Yeah.
like, check out all these crazy dinosaurs you can do.
I mean,
this."
Minecraft's kind of like the father of
And
those
then
games, right?
and it's
Well, also
like
those
because
are-
at some point that survival element is just a non-factor.
A lot of that
anymore.
survival stuff is based on multiplayer stuff too. So I think this game's single player
Right.
only. So I think that gives them a little more ability to balance it. So it's not just like, well, how long will these players stay in our ecosystem? It's like, well, it's just its own little game. You play it and that's it.
Like it's not trying to do too much more. Than
Yeah,
that.
it's not trying to be more and like cater
multiplayer
to a whole bunch of
stuff.
different people and like keep people coming back again and again to keep
Nice.
playing it and finding servers. So it's nice to play like a survival game that's a very survival focused game.
Is it?
Yeah.
That I just don't like survival games at all. So
I feel like I don't either, but I think this is just one of those things where it's like this is actually kind of what I wanted from the genre.
Yeah.
It's just like nothing else has really had that sort of appeal to me. But yeah, I'm curious to look more into it, see kind of where the trees go, where you can do stuff. I really like the idea that you find like I found a jacket on the ground and I had to put it like wear it by the fire, or otherwise if I put it on wet, it would be give me hypothermia.
Yeah. That makes
Oh,
sense.
So a lot of
that
like
makes
little
sense.
little touches like that where I'm like, okay, yeah, this all makes sense. It's like, yeah, if you fall in the water, you gotta get your clothes off as soon as you can, or else you're gonna die of hypothermia, sort of
So
thing.
Bear Grylls
Get
type.
naked.
Get naked.
Then drink your own
Always.
piss.
Yeah.
Yes.
How you probably says already? How long have you played this? How many hours you put in?
Oh, probably like three or four. It's
Okay,
not a whole
okay.
lot. Scratch the surface. Again, only the story mode. Haven't done the meat of the game, as they would
Mhm.
say, the survival part.
But
where it's
have you
just-
found meat in
Is there a
meat
goal
of
even in the
game?
survival part, or is it just
I don't
Survive as
know.
long as
I
you
think it's
can.
just to survive probably as
just
long as you can.
how long as you can, then you die?
Sounds like a don't starve kind of thing.
Yeah, Don't Starve is very much one of those types of games where it's like just survive. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of those games where like there's no win state and it's just like you will just die eventually.
Yeah, but how it's like a
It's
high
like
score
life.
type game. Yeah.
It's like life. I don't want to be. I don't want to
It's
be
too
reminded of life,
realistic.
man.
Now he's playing video games. Video games, as we call them in the biz.
Anyway, the other game I'm playing
that's cool.
is I started up on the stream, continuing through the series, is Overlord 2,
Hey,
which I
True.
never played.
You finished Overlord 1. How do you feel?
I felt pretty good. Overlord 1 had a weird ending, but it was fine. It was- the actual
Actually, like, which ending was the
I would
weird
say the
one?
original
the
ending-
DLC or the original one?
The original ending was okay. It just had a lot of lore at the end, and then the DLC, it was like, why does this just feels kind of tacked on at the very end, even though majority of DLC is actually pretty good. But yeah, Overlord 2 takes place right afterwards, and it kind of feels, it came out 2 years later, but it kind of feels like way older.
Way more modern.
In a lot of ways. No, I'm
What
gonna
do
say
you mean
more.
really?
way older?
Like the way the art style looks, I feel like the art style doesn't look as inspired, or maybe it's just me. It doesn't look like it's cohesive.
That's really funny.
See, it's
Yeah, I disagree. I feel like the
Really?
arts. Yeah, I feel like it looks. I feel like it looks.
considerably better.
really.
Yeah,
Maybe it's,
it looks like graphically better. It looks more together.
for me,
Yeah,
I
it's
feel like
together.
I feel like the way it controls is a little bit. I don't know, flakier. Like it doesn't feel as tight.
It doesn't
Floatier,
take
yeah.
your calls.
But
it
you
never
don't
gets
jump.
back
There's
to
no.
you.
What is there to float?
It's your character's momentum as they move. It felt, I don't know, it just feels a little
Mm.
different. Maybe it's just 'cause I played so much the first one that I'm just like, whoa, this is different.
Yeah, I admit I did not like immediately like 1 week later jump into the next game. It was like
Yeah,
it was
that's-
like a month later. Or
You're
something
probably
like
one of
that.
the few that have actually like
Done that,
made
yeah.
that
back
leap.
to back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Back to back. So I noticed a lot of differences. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of quality of life improvements, like mini maps and quest objectives and all that good stuff. So
Because it is to kill 3 villagers. Why can't I get past the? Like,
I didn't know. See, I didn't even know the quest objectives really existed. They didn't do a good job of
Yeah.
tutorializing that part. So yeah, it's
There
more.
was in the first game too. They're just like
There was, but it wasn't marked.
they're
on
like the
on
only
map or
thing. They're like
anything.
the only thing that you could do at the time.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it feels very much like this is more of the same, but kind of tweaked and made a little bit better, a little bit quicker.
Now you can possess minions
You
in
can
certain
possess
sections of the game.
minions. You can drive a boat around.
Holla.
The elves are hippies.
Elves are hippies, and you could club
Dirty
seals.
Just
and
kill
that's really
seals
funny.
to death. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a game of its era.
It's
Yeah,
like
both these games
evil.
are like
Ha, ha, ha,
games.
you're
are very-
I always feel it's weird because these games are always supposed to be like you're evil, and then you're kind of like not that evil. You're just kind of like
No, you're never that
Just
evil. Like
evil-esque.
well, I mean, like most video games and even a lot of movies do this of like, yeah, this guy's a bad dude, but there's like a way worse dude around.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you'll hate the main character, right?
Despicable
Like,
Me.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That's the
Good
first one I thought
example.
of. That's like the one, right? Like that's like the
Morals.
cultural touchstone. And everyone just goes
I
like,
mean-
Despicable Me. It has set off so many trends.
Yeah,
I
I mean the
mean-
minions.
I like to think that
Yeah.
Despicable Me was based off Overlord because it's pretty.
I
cool.
think
Maybe.
I think you can make that. Yep.
Just
Steve Carell
is
Steve Carell's a huge fan of Overlord.
yeah, he loves it.
Plays it every year.
Gru
around Christmas time.
is the Overlord.
Yeah.
Gorals.
Gorals,
Gorals.
laurels, greens.
Greens.
Still got the same voice lines. I love how that's like the one thing they didn't change.
Reds.
All the voice acting is so much better in this game. Like I
choose
I'm not, I don't like the way the art style looks as much. I don't know if that's just my own personal preference, but like definitely the voice acting is better. 'cause the first one had awful voice acting.
The first one had awful voice acting. They kind of like leaned into how awful the voice acting was, though.
I felt like
feel
there's
like-
definitely some people that just read their lines off. Like there was clearly some people who were like, we're bad at acting, let's ham it up. And then there's some people who are like, oh, we'll just do this thing, and it's like really badly recorded, and I don't know. It's just it's interesting seeing
Don't
the
go
changes.
through that door.
Boy, I played a little bit of the DS game just to try it, just to see what it was like. Man, that's a whole thing. I'll
That's
talk
gonna
about
be a
later.
thing?
That's gonna be very
Yeah.
interesting.
Are you gonna actually play that on your stream?
Oh yeah.
Is there lots of touch controls?
Oh, this is back in the DS when the DS was only touch controls.
Yeah.
For some
Oh,
reason.
like
nice.
Phantom Hourglass level.
Yeah, where it's like, do you like just
Yeah.
controlling games with a stylus?
No.
I don't. But we're just gonna make all games like that for some reason.
Yeah.
Cool.
Some games suffered for that.
So you're not
for
gonna
sure.
you're not gonna talk about any more about that. You're gonna
I
save
have played
that
enough
for
of
your
it. I'm gonna
streams?
save that for a stream because I haven't actually played too much
How?
of it.
Just curious. How do you stream through DS?
That one I'm gonna do an emulator. There's no other way around it.
Ooh, but then how do
Yeah.
You could set up. You could theoretically set up a webcam
So
to like
there's
do that. But that
there's
was terrible. It
There's
would look really
two
bad.
methods. I was either thinking, I still haven't decided. There's actually a really good DS foam emulator, which is really nice. You can just do the touch there.
Okay.
Which might work, and that could be a little weird to capture from. It might be just easier to do on the computer, but if it's only touch, like I could just use the mouse. I read a lot of people just play touch games with the mouse, and it's precision.
I guess that
accurate
would
enough.
work.
Yeah, I think it might be okay. Also, it'd show where I'm clicking to, which would be kind of nice.
Yeah, that'd be kind of nice.
Interesting.
So I might end up doing that. We'll see how it goes though.
Isn't
that's-
there like a I'm maybe making this up, but some sort of thing you like plug into the DS that allows you to capture?
I think
but
you
it's
have
No,
to
you
have
have
like
to-
a
you
straight up
dev
modded.
kit.
I looked
Yeah.
at you either have a dev kit or there's definitely mods I saw floating around
Yeah.
online where you
Okay,
can buy
that
like a
makes sense
modded
then.
3DS, and that's like
Oh.
$300. I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
really
no,
wanna
not
drop
worth
that
it.
for
Nope.
one game.
Something that I would
I think I'm
An
good.
emulator will work fine.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
Yeah,
He owns the game.
it's true.
Yeah, I do.
It
I
ain't-
did buy the game.
Ain't stealing.
He's not doing anything illegal.
I ain't doing the illegals.
Well, I mean, the emulator is a gray area, I suppose.
It's fine.
It's a gray area.
It's a green area. It's a brown area.
Nice.
Because it's shit. No.
Speaking of shitty browns,
yeah.
I don't know. Yep, go from this,
what-
Matt.
Pineapple, Space
Yeah.
Lord,
There you go,
up
nailed
butt.
it.
There,
Yeah.
there you go. All right, got it.
All right.
Nailed it.
So
First try.
last week on the Trailer Trash, we were watching a trailer for a game that was launching called Spacelords, or rather, it was
Which
launching.
is
on
actually a
PS4.
relaunch. Yeah, it was like a relaunch of
Uh,
an existing game, right?
Yes,
Yes.
it was a relaunch of a game that was in early access for quite a long time called the Raiders of the Broken Planet, and
Yes.
you
That's a name.
are probably aware that it is called that if you start up Spacelords because everything still has like the
Yeah.
Has that-
insignia of
I saw you
Raiders of the
playing
Broken
it and
Planet.
went to go download it. Oh God! Oh no! Everything's wrong.
what happened?
Anyway,
What the
it's
heck
fine.
happened
Oh,
there?
okay.
Don't worry about it.
What? not out of, we're
What
not,
are
we
you
have not
doing?
run out of
What?
space. We haven't run out of space. Everything's
No,
fine.
he's just messing around with
I was
Windows and
replaced by
stuff.
a skull kid. Ah!
Anyway, and like even as you're downloading it onto your PlayStation 4, it comes up first as Raiders of the Broken
Yes.
Planet. You'll find it on
Huh.
PSN as Spacelords, but like the icon will say Raiders
That's
of the
funny.
Broken Planet and everything. So it's really odd in that sense. And actually, after playing a couple hours of it, I actually tracked down some of the dev interviews when they were ready to roll out Spacelords. And apparently, I didn't know this, Mercury Steam is a Spanish studio. So like,
that's cool.
so
From Spain?
all the from Spain, because all
Nice.
the devs are native Spanish speakers. So all the dev videos were they had
In
a
Spanish.
version in Spanish and a version that was dubbed over in English.
That's cool.
That's kind of cool.
And I guess the concept behind it was that
no one was playing the game.
in the
and we
game-
needed to reprint.
Yeah,
in, the
that's
game,
what it sounds like.
in the game, you can either play as a raider or an antagonist, and just calling the game Raiders of the Broken Planet left out an entire contingency of our audience.
Sure,
So we just
sure.
What a
started
weird
dating.
naming scheme.
Yeah, sure,
I don't know.
sure.
But
That'd be like
anyways,
calling Mass Effect Paragon.
yes.
Maybe, but it also sounds like the game maybe wasn't catching enough attention.
No,
They
that's
wanted to rebrand- they wanted to
probably that's
rebrand it.
probably part.
Rebrand
big part
it.
for
No one
why.
likes raiding broken planets. They want working planets.
Yes, exactly. So
Studies have shown
the
that
whole
humans
thing
like
last week
whole
is we were
planets.
kind of trying to figure out what the hell this game was based only on the trailer. But now I've played maybe like five hours of it, maybe a little less. And I tell you, Spacelords is a really interesting game. It's free to play, obviously, so the ceiling for entry is pretty low if you're looking to check it out, and that definitely helps. But what it is it is a third-person team-based shooter.
Go on.
And it takes
Okay.
place on different objective-based maps. So there is an
Okay.
overarching campaign that you're doing, and you're doing missions, in order.
Okay.
Unlocking more missions as your overall account levels up. And you go in with yourself and 3 other players, and each map has you fighting against a bunch of AI enemies, and then also trying to do objectives in it. So, like, for example, one map might have you trying to deliver bombs to tanks in order to blow them up. So you'll have to have one person grab a bomb and then escort them over to where the tanks are and drop them so that they
Okay.
can blow up. Another
Is this
mission.
multiplayer, like on all these missions? Or?
Yes, it's all.
Okay.
Every single mission is up to 4 players co-op, and up to
Okay.
5 players if we'll talk about that mechanic a little bit later.
Okay.
Okay.
Or you're trying to activate switches on. You're trying to activate gas valves on ships to build up pressure and cause the ships to explode and getting off the ship in time and stuff like that. Just pretty basic objectives, not anything too crazy, but the actual mechanics of the game itself are actually pretty interesting. It's a third-person shooter at its heart, but it also has a weirdly involved melee system inside of it. And that revolves around another mechanic in the game, which is building up these Aleph, which is the kind of unobtainium
Okay.
Right.
Equivalent.
equivalent in this game.
I watched a sci-fi.
Is this element called Aleph, and that's what everybody's on the planet to harvest and to get and everything and stuff. That's why it's Raiders of the Broken Planet or whatever. There's a very paper thin story going on. I shouldn't say that. Seems like there's a lot of work that went into the lore in this game. It's just nobody really cares about it. But anyways, the melee system, you can strike, you can grapple, and you can dodge, and each one of those beats the other. So strikes beat out grapples beat out dodges, and dodges beat out strikes. So
Okay.
and the reason why the melee stuff is so important is that that's the only way you can get these Aleph charges. And when you get an Aleph charge, you either do it by taking down a special enemy in melee, or by chaining multiple smaller enemy kills with melee to get these charges. And then they do 2 things. One, all of your character's abilities that you're building up by leveling up different characters and getting new abilities actually get buffs based on you having these charges. And 2, most objectives in the game are going to have to cash out your charges into them. So for example, if you're powering up a generator, you need to discharge
You
like
need to have
pips
charges.
pips of this olive into it.
Okay.
So it's interesting.
Is there a time limit?
No, as long as you have it, you have it. But as soon as you die, you
lose it.
You lose it. And if you get killed by either an AI opponent or an antagonist, which I'll talk about here in a second, then they take all of them. So then that person is powered up.
Yeah.
And so
what about for the mission itself? Is there a time limit for the mission?
There can be, depending on what the objective is. There's ones that are time limit based. There are ones that are just basically do the mission without losing all your lives, because you'll have a certain number of respawns to go through with your team before your handler needs to go retrieve more respawns for you, and then a timer will start. It's like you have to survive for 60 seconds without dying, and then he'll come back with more respawns for you to do. But if everybody dies, if everybody wipes in that time, you failed the mission. So what was I gonna say? So basically, like, you're doing these missions, but once you reach level 10, you can also enter in a mission on the AI side as an antagonist. So you will be one of your characters that you have unlocked. You'll select them, and then you will play on the side of like the AI horde, just trying to make life more difficult for the raiders. And like, on both sides, depending on your performance in the mission, whether you fail or like whether you fail or succeed, how many deaths you all suffered, how fast you got through the mission, whether it was like your first time essentially on the day of completing the mission, you'll get a certain number of score at the end and a certain number of rewards at the end of the mission. So that's kind of the loop.
That's the loop.
You have
are these missions like repeatable? They're not like story based, right?
They are, but they're all repeatable. Like they are encouraged to repeat. In fact, right now I have to be level 4. I finished the last story mission that I did at around level 8, and you have to be level 14 to unlock the next story mission. So you have to go back and repeat other missions. And there's like interesting
it's a grindy game.
There's like interesting stuff built into that. So for example, like if you enter in a mission as a high level player with low level characters, you actually get with low level teammates, you actually get a bonus and a buff like for completing that mission with smaller teams. So it kind of like, encourages you to play through and help young like lower players, which
young
right now
Spacelords
is me, because I'm only at like level 10 or 11 right now. And depending on the characters you play, you get different so you get like an overall currency, but then you also get faction points that you have to feed into whatever character you're playing as. There's a pretty extensive array of characters. I think there's 17 total. And they all play.
There like different like types like that the characters kind of fall into.
It's interesting because they don't seem like that. It seems like the main distinction between each character is, besides like just.
Well, didn't we see there was like 3 classes before?
No,
yeah, classes,
there's 4
on the trailer. It looked like there was.
There's 4. There's 4 factions, and each of the characters fit into one of those factions, but. Like each character is going to have kind of like their own skill, like a stat set, and then they're going to have a weapon that they use and a special ability. So, for example, the character I like using, Alicia, she's a pretty mobile character. She uses shotgun. She uses like an automatic shotgun, and then her special ability is that she can wall jump off stuff. And so like you can, so it lets her get around a lot quicker, especially because one of the modifiers I have on that ability is when you double jump off of a wall and you aim down the sights, it slows your descent and you have like midair control, so you can kind of like get around.
That's like Destiny.
Pretty quick. Yeah, actually that's one of the reasons why I played her, because I was like, this feels like something I'm familiar with and played.
This feels
a lot.
familiar.
Like, played a lot of. Whereas like someone like Constantine, he's a bigger, bulkier character, doesn't move as fast. He's got a big like Gatling rifle, and his ability is he'll send out an energy field that knocks guys away from him, like that like come into that area, and then you can actually shoot the energy field to kind of push it around the map and sort of push back against stuff. So it's pretty cool, and it's pretty interesting the way they upgrade those. When you're going for upgrades, you're cashing out your faction points, and then it pulls out a random card from your big like deck of abilities.
Kind of reminds me of Mass Effect 3 a little bit.
Yeah.
So
like
it's
the
spoilers,
multiplayer.
hey.
Yeah,
The multiplayer?
Yeah. No, the multiplayer. That is, yeah, you know what? It is actually kind of like that.
And I really like Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and I felt like there wasn't enough games that kind of did that sort of thing. So now I'm even more interested.
It's interesting. The downsides of it right now I see is, one, it is extremely grindy.
Yeah, it sounds. That's the one thing that's kind of made me pause. I was interested in playing it, but now I'm like, sounds like you've got to already play a lot of things a lot of times.
Which I don't mind. I think that they're fun, especially if you're getting like better rewards depending on how.
I feel like this kind of game where it's like meant to be played a bunch of times anyway. You're like, it's not like you're having to progress to the story. You have to grind that much. It's like that's not the reason you're there. Like people sound like they could be cool if they unlock stuff, but it sounds like they're more just like, I just want to shoot some dudes and just bevel fun time with my friends and do some horde mode shooting, and I unlock stuff as time goes on. If you do better than not,
The only other thing I would say is that this game's pretty hard. Like the AI is actually pretty unforgiving when it comes to like, if you're low on health, they're not gonna let you just hang back and like recover your health. They're gonna come actively hunt for you. You can actually hear them talk. Quote unquote talk to each other when, say, your character is reloading. They'll be like, oh, he's reloading, like attack him now or whatever like that. So like they're pretty ruthless. Like there's even one mission in which at some point elite guards like come out and they will specifically say, this character is our target, everyone take him out, and literally all the like the soldiers in that area will actively hunt that one character. So it becomes extremely difficult to avoid. And like, I could see if you had a coordinated team, it could be like easier to combat that stuff. But a lot of times, obviously, in this game, you're jumping in with a lot of strangers and just hoping that everybody kind of communicates well without really communicating.
Yeah, was there a lot of voice chat going on? Or
no, in fact, voice chat is set to off from the as a default. You do have like very simple like commands you can give, like understood, like group on me, like need ammo, like very simple stuff like that that kind of gets the point across to some extent. But yeah, definitely seems like a game that would benefit from some more communication. The other only thing I would say about Spacelords is it's a really weird game, both aesthetically and like from the writing side and the story side. Again, I've already kind of hinted at it, and if you follow me on Twitter at Rico_Mang, you've seen that at one point in the game, after you defeat the first boss, the characters always have this debriefing after the missions, which is actually the only cutscenes that are completely up to you whether you want to skip them or not. Every other one.
This is a full-on like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure style of cutscene.
Yes. So exactly. So what ends up happening is that one of the characters is like, he had this vendetta against the boss, and so the leader comes up to him, Herrick, and he's like, "Marmalade's finally dead. Like, how do you feel? How do you feel, my friend?" And he's just like, "Constipated. The food around here sucks. Can I kill the cook?" And then Alicia comes up to him and says, "Take it easy, big guy. Right now, somewhere in hell, Marmalade's getting fucked up the ass with a pineapple." And it's like, man, this is really weird and stupid dialogue. But the thing that really cinches it from going from being like, this is just really stupidly written, to like, all right, this game, it's it's going somewhere. Is that the character goes, yeah, and he kind of looks up into the sky to daydream. And then the scene cuts to this boss character in hell yelling in agony. And then it the camera swings behind, and there's a team of tiny demons carrying this giant pineapple on a stick, charging directly at the rear of this character in a very cartoony fashion, like a hop, 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 hop way. And then the camera cuts, you hear a noise as if a pineapple is being shoved up a rectum. And then the character goes,
I'm just guessing here, but.
And then it cuts back to the guy daydreaming, and he just kind of is like, and then the scene continues on as normal. What a weird game, right? Man. And they do this a few times.
This is like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
They do this quite a bit, and it's like, I can't tell if the devs knew it was like really stupid and that's why they did it, or if they're like genuinely trying to be funny, because there's like other stuff that's like really on the cusp of like, I can't tell if these guys are just like have a really terrible sense of humor and it's coming through in like the perfect way of like it's not Is this a drill situation? Yeah, exactly. Or if it
could be a lost in translation thing too.
Yeah,
it could be exactly too. If it's an all Spanish team, like some of this stuff could be funnier there, I guess.
The way they wrote it there, yeah.
God, I hope that's what it is. That's just like, no, this is hilarious. Like if you're from Spain, but like,
oh no, that sounds pretty
English.
funny anyway.
Yeah, it's
Pop on the butt. Ethan approves.
Ethan likes pineapple to ass based humor.
Yeah, as long as demons are holding the pineapple, then I'm on board.
Yeah, as long as it's a bad guy. As long as it's a bad guy, and there's demons. It's a little Nicky situation.
Yeah.
Weird.
Okay. Well, speaking of space stuff. Speaking of pineapples.
Yeah, space pineapples.
Amber, you've been playing Mass Effect.
I have.
You catch those streams over at twitch.tv/Madagami.
Yes.
How's that going?
It's fine.
Okay. Well,
that's it.
How's
no.
the inventory doing?
Oh my god. Damn that inventory limit. Holy crap. So I'm continuing my adventures with DJ Peppered Shepherd. Great name.
Ethan and Ricardo both pull out their phones at the same time, just like whatever.
That's
like I want to watch the stream.
I know what happened.
There was some confusion whether crabs were robots or not. They were alien crabs.
But let's talk about the bigger picture, like the individual stream moments can be caught on our Twitch page and on the Pixel Legends YouTube page. What's your just overall thoughts of Mass Effect? This is the first time you've ever played it before.
Yes. Yeah, and I like, for anyone who doesn't remember, Matt and I started this almost 2 years ago. We started playing this, and
it's a really long game.
Then
it's a long game. Yep.
I think we streamed like 4 episodes, and then life got in the way, and we moved, we got Puppy. So who is sleeping? And we decided to come back to it, and it's pretty good. I get definitely a lot of KOTOR vibes off of it. I think.
Yeah, especially the first one.
Yeah, I think going to these different, more so the story missions than the little side missions, which is just like the 8x8 grid and you find some stuff. Mm-hmm. But you just like going to these planets, kind of, interacting with these characters. You got your team. You can interact with your team. Like you pause for combat. Like it's all. I get mad. I get mad. Mad KOTOR vibes, and I think it's kind of scratching.
I thought you were just
itch.
saying I get mad.
I get mad. I get mad.
Garrus doesn't take out his assault rifle. I get mad.
He takes his pistol a lot.
Every time I look at that man,
he specializes in pistol.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you mean my pistol? No. Shotgun? No. Assault rifle or sniper?
Pistol. Got it.
I read you loud and clear.
And then Liara just uses all of her abilities at the same time.
Gosh, it's pretty good. My Liara just
like sends
buffed.
all the enemies just flying into the sky or sucked down to the ground or whatever.
Yep. I'm enjoying. I mean, the story's pretty simple. We're trying to hunt down Saren, so it's like there's been some story stuff, but I think the more interesting stuff is the world they built, which I know people love the Mass Effect world, but like, man, yeah, that stuff this got depth, like down to like how the Asari like mate, which is a very male thing, or like how the Hanar don't refer to themselves in the first person with people they're not familiar with. Like it's very, it's got the Elcor say their feelings and
Why can't we all just say our feelings?
Surprised. Yeah, I really like it. I really like the characters on your team, minus the space racist and that boring guy's name who I don't remember.
So the 2 humans on your team.
Yeah, the
two
two
other
humans.
Two human?
Two
I haven't
human.
even-
2 human. Hillary Goldstein, you too.
John Calvernini over here saying.
Kevin Van Ord. All y'all going down.
2 human.
Anyway,
There, you're
continue.
done.
Sorry.
It's Ashley and Caden, by the way.
Ashley and Caden, yeah. No, I actually do remember their names. I don't even bother bringing them. I got like 4 other cool aliens with me. I got Liara, Tali, Rex, and Garrus.
This is
Why
a
would I
trend
need
that will
these
only
2?
continue in the next 2
Yes.
games.
It's
of
true.
the human characters.
I like Jacob.
Who do you like?
Jacob.
Who?
Jacob's okay.
He's all right.
Jacob is
I don't know
one
who
step
that
above
is.
Caden of most boring. He's black
But
instead of white.
wants to
That's
spill
His backstory is a little more interesting than Caden's, but yeah,
Yeah.
I guess
his as a
slightly-
person is definitely.
His
his
backstory
point.
was okay. I just don't care. And like the
The irony is
Especially
I think
since-
Caden could be an interesting character. Like his backstory has an interesting thing,
Yeah.
but like you only ever hear about it when you go and talk to him on the ship. There's nothing in the
Yeah.
game that
That's
actually.
true.
has
yeah,
anything
it
to do
feels
with
like it has no, like he has no payoff for any of it.
I mean, they
But you
fixed
get
that.
sex with him.
Yeah, and like man, this game will not let me have sex with the one being I want to have sex with,
It's a
and
Hanar.
it's the Hanar.
Yeah.
And it instead is forcing me heavy on Caden or Liara, and I'm just like, listen, Liara's awesome, no thank you, but she's pretty cool. Caden, no.
Hmm.
God
At least you're not
dang it!
playing-
Why can't I have sex with
You could just
Garrus?
be like not doing it.
That's
I bet you could probably mod the game to be able to do that.
Is
Well,
Garrus
no.
only romanceable in the second one?
He's only in the second one. Yeah.
Yes.
I know. I was Ethan. I was heartbroken.
Nah, you'll just wait. You just gotta
Heartbroken.
wait. You know, all good things
I
come to
know.
those who wait.
Waiting for marriage. It's very important.
Yeah, it's very important. Especially
Wait
in
for Garrus.
Garrus, you
A
know
novel by yours
I
truly.
mean, well, when the other temptations are Caden, then
it's
Yep.
pretty easy to
It's
wait.
Or Ashley.
easy. Wait.
Wait.
She turned Liara down. It was very awkward. It was great.
It was actually pretty good. Yeah, I think some of my favorite parts are actually after a story mission where you just get to go around and talk to all your squad and like, I want to find out more
That's
about
the best
you.
part of Mass Effect.
It's
Of all
really
of the
good.
Mass Effect.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Well,
Let's go
that
talk
and
to-
then like in the sequels when you actually have their individual like missions
Loyal
that are
missions.
like
They actually have missions
This
that like
is-
Mass Effect 1 has like hints of that where
Yeah,
it's
it has like
Garrus,
side
like I gotta
quests.
find a doctor. And
Yeah.
then we did that quest and it was just like, here's a doctor, and he's like, do you want to shoot him, yes or no? And then he's like, that's the quest.
Yep. I accidentally bungled that one up too because I meant to take him in, and then I accidentally
Take
hit the
him
dialogue
down.
thing. Yeah, where I was like, I killed him, and I was like, no, and then Garrus turned to me like, what the hell was that? And I was like, I don't know. That's the dialogue option.
No, see, Amber, that was the only time. It's very secret because I have an uncle that works at BioWare. It's very secret. If
Okay,
you
go
would have
on.
done good on that mission, then yes, you could have romanced Garrus. But because you
Damn
fucked it up, then no romance of Garrus.
And you know what?
for
Your your save will carry over.
And yeah,
and you can't
he'll
romance
just,
with Mass
Garrus
Effect
will
2 either.
remember that.
Yeah, it just won't. He won't do it.
Yeah, he won't.
No.
Keeps it for the next games too.
Time to start over. Take another 2 years to do.
You stuck playing Mass Effect
Rip Garrus.
forever.
I will always pine and never get that sexy
It's
scene
okay.
I want
Maybe
with him.
you know, next game has Thane.
Yeah, and then
That's
you'll
all I'm
then
saying.
you throw Garrus to the side.
Don't those spoilers for characters.
I was gonna say I know for Mass Effect 2, I know Miranda and the Dr. Solarian guy because that was my
Morden.
brother's least favorite character and his favorite character.
Wait, which is which? Miranda
Guess.
is least, and
Miranda's least.
Okay.
He
Oh,
All right.
wanted.
Miranda.
for a second I was gonna say, hold on, is Morden the least?
She's a sexy lady. That's why Ethan likes.
No, her
Yvonne
story's like she has a
Strahovski.
good
She's like the
backstory.
the
She's played by
sexy
that girl.
lady.
She's played by that
Yvonne
lady on Chuck.
Strahovski.
Yeah, it's funny how all the women in the Mass Effect universe like, what if a race of all female people
Yep.
who have to have sex with everybody?
Yep.
What if a lady who is
Yep.
just the perfect lady and she's sad about being the perfect lady? It's so
Yeah.
sad. She
Oh,
has
it's
the big
I didn't
boobs
know
and the big butt, and
my
then-
biography was in there.
Sorry, so
That's
sad all the
why
time.
they should have
My
just
voice
let
is
me
sad.
romance Dr. Chakwas.
Yep.
Dr. Chakwas.
Dr. Chakwas.
Hey, what you do you?
Yeah, the game series shows its age a little bit for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely
it's very popular among a lot of women.
That and also that every dialogue option is good, bad, neutral. Like it's very
that was Amber's mistake in the Garrus mission was being like, first she's like, we're gonna take him in, and then like the 3 options are, no, we're definitely gonna take him in. I'll do it. And like,
what does
Garrus,
"I'll do it"
Garrus,
mean?
kill him.
I'll do it.
I'll do it, and that means that means that's what I figured too. Was like that means you're gonna shoot him. And
I didn't know that. I mean, I'll do it. Like I'll take him.
Top one
Do
always
it.
good. Bottom one always. Mean.
I didn't think the neutral one was smoke that fool. Anyways,
they should have. Yeah, they should change that next time to put smoke that fool. Immediately.
Yeah, just parentheses.
Gun him down.
Yeah. Right now I am on. What's the name of the
Vermeer.
Vermeer.
About the halfway point of the story, I think that would be.
That seems about
maybe
right.
A little past the halfway point.
Past halfway.
I killed the matriarch. I smoked her real good.
We're always smoking people.
Man. Okay, let me just say, I got my good biotics and my shotgun kill people like instantly.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
What class were you?
Vanguard.
Oh yeah, that's the best. That's the most fun class.
Vanguard in 2 is.
It's pretty good.
I like Vanguard.
I was using my pistol for a while.
Vanguard
and
in 2
then
and 3 is pretty.
That's what I played.
I may
did not
stick
play
with
that, but
Vanguard.
I played the sniper rifle one. That one's.
I played as the one that had armor, in the
Soldier.
No, the one that had the tech armor.
Oh, okay.
In 2
I can't
and
remember
3.
what it's called.
That one's a new one for 2 and 3.
I was gonna
so
say
don't
I'm not
remember which one
familiar with
is.
that.
I think it was. It's like Sentinel, but like they give them like.
Sentinel's the sniper rifle, and
They actually give them like maybe it's not Sentinel.
It's like sniper.
oh,
rifle.
it's like tech one. Engineer is what you're thinking of.
No, Engineer has the little pet. Has the little.
I played Engineer a lot too.
The little pet.
That's only in 2 and 3 for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting into stuff that's
we'll
not.
We'll wait till we get there.
So, but I'm getting through it.
Yep.
I'm gonna make it after all. I'm gonna make them hard dialogue choices. Or do I love?
Nah, don't love. It's lame.
Oh, fine. Just Garrus.
Yeah.
What is love? Well, I think that's enough games. Enough talking about games.
I'm done.
Enough talking about games.
Shall we talk about game demo we saw?
I guess we should talk about that before the news. It's kind of not really news.
No.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Everyone's hot on that
showed
new.
off their which is, I think from what I hear is their E3 demo, which is like 50-minute presentation of what the game is going to be like.
Which was the demo that everyone saw and like blew their mind.
Yes.
Everyone came out of there.
Yes, everyone was very excited about Cyberpunk. I think that game looks pretty cool. I'm kind of low key excited for it because I also know that it's very early and it could not be as impressive as what the game makes it look like in this demo, but the demo makes it look very impressive. So I can see. It
feels like they definitely like learned from their Witcher 3
success.
That they got some backlash from when they first showed Witcher 3 and how good it looked. And Witcher 3 still looked very good, but people noticed that it wasn't as good looking as the original demo. And so all the like disclaimers are like, this is not the final game. Like, will look different. I'm like, okay, we got it. But
they need to do that because of the story we're going to talk about later. So it's like you can see why they're so.
My thing is, I just assumed that the game's nowhere near close to coming out. So
everyone seems to be thinking that it's going to come a couple of years before we see this game.
Yeah.
Still.
But it's pretty impressive. Like, it's the world's very like Blade Runner meets like Fifth Element almost. Like it's grungy, but it's very neon.
I think I just like the scale of it is what really is kind of
that's
I
what
think
impressed me. I think
it feels like kind of like Grand Theft Auto first person mode, or just kind of like overwhelmed by like everything, but it's a lot more dense than like Grand Theft Auto. Because there's just lots of things on the ground. It feels like a very opened up Deus Ex game from what it looks like, but like way more fluid combat than I think.
Yeah,
Deus Ex is
I was surprised by how snappy the combat looked in this demo. Like. Obviously, when you think of like a deep RPG shooter, you think of stuff like
numbers flying off.
Yeah, like stuff like Fallout, where it's like it's a shooter, but really it's just hitting them
It's
with
a
a certain
shooter
amount of
skin,
damage, and then the
yeah.
game calculating how much damage that was. But this one looked like it was very, very like Destiny.
Much more
like
of a
it felt like it
shooter,
looked like
yeah.
it felt good like a Destiny type
Yep.
shooter would.
Yeah, it did look very good as far as the shooting goes. I
Mm.
think it's just giving them the opportunity to build their own kind of world is a lot of risks, but I think it could. I guess it's not their own world because they're basing it
Yeah,
off
I was
the
gonna
No.
say
games.
it's
Based
based
off
on
the
tabletop.
off the
Um,
tabletop,
Yeah, well, that's Cyberpunk 2020, I think, is what that tabletop game is called.
something like that. Yeah.
So it's made back in the 80s, I think.
Which, hey, CD Projekt Red took the Witcher property and
Yeah.
kind of made it their own.
Their own stamp on
Yeah,
it.
true.
this is definitely putting their own stamp on it, I think.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so it's exciting.
I don't have anything specific to mention about like the individual
Yeah.
gameplay. The thing about like I think, and people at E3 did mention this, but the thing that struck me is like nothing the game is doing by itself, like each of the mechanics or each of the concepts.
It's like the
is
sum
like
of its
a mind-blowing
parts.
new thing that you've seen before.
Yeah.
All of them are pretty much everything was things that you've seen before in games. It's just like it's combining them all really fluidly.
Yeah.
And there is no kind of separation between those mechanics. It seems to like be adding a lot of mechanics onto this giant open world game.
Yeah.
And it's very immersive, which I think is part of what makes it so.
And I was gonna say, I feel like that immersiveness comes from there's a mild controversy of it being a first-person game as opposed to a third-person like The Witcher. But I feel like in that trailer, you kind of get why, because you can see like, oh, there's a lot more details and all the stuff on the walls, and you can read everything, and also the part where your character gets their like eye removed, basically their cyber eye,
gosh.
and you like get a new
That was
one.
weird.
I'm like, that's super cool to see it through like your side view. You can see yourself.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool thing.
Get the hand grip. Get the hand grip. The combat grip.
And tattooed with carbon fiber.
Yeah.
My thing
Nano
with
science.
the demo, and I mean, I guess it's a demo, so it kind of has to be, is that like there's just so many systems and stuff in place that and supposed variance in like how things can go and like what can change depending on what you do, that like how smooth it went.
Right.
Except for a guy still talking when it got his head shot off, exploded.
My legs.
My legs, dude, your head's gone. What the fuck did you say?
You got that speaker implanted in him somewhere.
Oh yeah, it's like
he was a
his
robot
right
man,
nipple.
dude. Yeah.
Robot man.
I just am like, man, this game looks way too fucking like smooth.
And they kept going about
Yeah.
like every choice you like. What if we had done this instead of this? Every choice you make will matter. Will have
Yeah.
consequences. Really?
Which is usually when
gonna be-
you start to question, like, okay, so where are the seams in
Yeah.
this
It's
game?
Gonna
and, like,
be like Alpha Protocol. Alpha Protocol.
you mean what some relations that we've spoken with felt like it's like one of the best games? Like,
I mean, it's like people like that game.
yeah, people definitely like that game a lot.
I don't
I
think-
never
I don't
played
think
it, so I
people,
can't really say much about
I
it.
can't say either.
I had
but
not played
no,
it either.
Thank you.
I heard it was very janky, but I did hear that part of it was very impressive. Like the whole do this mission before that mission, and then this mission completely changes because you did the other one first. Like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I heard that. I
it
heard
was
that
still
made a difference.
janky.
It's like it was like your 3 B's: Born, Bond, and Bauer. Those were like kind of
That was their catch line.
like that was like their 3 like decisions. It's like instead of like just like good, neutral, and bad, like Paragon, Renegade, and neutral. It's like
yeah, it's all about what kind of dick do you want
it's
to be.
like handle this like
How
with your
big do you want
with
your
your suave and cunning like Bond. You know, saying like use your martial prowess like Bauer, or just be like a fucking yelling lunatic. I guess. Oh no, excuse me, like Bourne, like Jason Bourne, or be like a fucking yelling lunatic like Jack Bauer.
Weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah,
I've heard interesting things about the game, but I've never tried it, despite owning it.
you should play it for your stream after Overlord.
No.
That's the new one. We're announcing it here.
No.
Everybody, we're excited to announce.
Ethan is playing Alpha Protocol.
Finally,
You're
someone's got
gonna
I
finish
should
it.
I should just tack this on before we actually talk about news. Man, Japanese game developers really don't want to you to spoil
yeah,
parts of their game.
Yeah.
Because the
saw
whole
that.
entirety of the back half of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven is blocked through the PlayStation 4's internal software at the request, I guess, of System Tech and Bandai Namco.
It's such a bizarre thing.
So, unfortunately, because I use the PS4's inner software to stream, I can't stream the rest of that story.
Such a bummer.
So unfortunately, that's gonna be a premature ending.
You'll have to come over and let's hook it up and we'll play.
Yeah, I mean that might be the.
Yeah, you could do a 2-person stream.
The Winter of JoJo.
teach me the anime.
Show me how to anime.
So unfortunately, yeah. So we're gonna pivot. I do have Fire Pro Wrestling to check out.
There you go.
It's true.
And then pivoting and streaming some Spacelords, which got a decent reaction. So maybe I'll stream more of that. But yeah, unfortunately, that's the end of JoJo. Unfortunately, for the time being.
I have this is not exactly related, but one thing I remember last week we were talking about Strange Brigade. I looked up some stuff in that. It looks pretty cool. Apparently, you do not share loot in that game.
Yeah.
When that was I saw that part and I was like, wow, what the hell?
Wait, so you have to fight over it?
Yes. Or
well,
be
I mean,
the
you don't fight the
fastest
characters.
one.
The characters don't fight, but you have to go yeah, I open the treasure chest, it's mine. I got this. I got all the gold in here.
That sounds like
No
a
one
good way
else
to
got
be
it.
a dick to your friends.
Yeah,
I like that.
Oh
Ethan's
yes,
on
you do because
board.
There's no bananas on my island. The bananas are over here. They're all on the island. Go.
Don't take any of the fruit. Wait till my fruit.
Yeah.
Amber, stop hitting the microphone.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll fix it.
I have to I'm writing down multiple. No, you hit it again.
It's because the little dangly bit was hitting it. Listen.
Yeah,
I don't want to go into my microphone
All right,
anatomy.
we do have to move on to the news. I'm not gonna come up with a funny segue because there isn't anything.
There's
really
no funny segue
about the news this week. I'm afraid, especially the first story, which is kind of I don't know about you guys, but I kind of felt like this is some sort of inevitability that it was going to happen to a gaming event at some point. But a shooting did occur in Florida at a Madden tournament. It's actually in a mall.
Yeah.
Because there's this esports bar in a mall. And one of I believe again I haven't fully read into every single thing, but the reports seem to indicate that he was a player at this Madden event.
I believe so, yeah.
Who left after he lost and came back with a gun of some kind and killed 2 people.
Did he
injuring others?
Was
and
it 2 or was it
killed
4?
himself.
It was 2.
It was 3. It was 3 total, including him.
Yeah, that's including him. So it's technically 2. They said 4 at one point, but I think that might have been a miss.
Gotcha.
I think multiple people were
11
shot.
injured.
There were other people shot. Yeah.
11 were injured in total.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was identified, I believe, as a competitor, and I believe stories have started to come out that he had a history of mental illness, yet was still able to somehow
police reports
a gun.
and things like that, and he passed all the checks that he needed because it's Florida, and it probably did not require very much time for him to go in.
I think this resonated in particular because we were all just at Evo.
Yeah.
And I think specifically because we were just at Evo, which occurred in the Mandalay Bay, which was the site of that terrible shooting at that country festival just months prior to that. And furthermore, besides that, there just didn't seem like, specifically for the convention days, the finals day was a little bit better, but for the convention days, there just didn't seem to be that much of a security presence.
It was basically none.
The badges,
yeah.
They made you dump out your water or drink, and that's it.
If they saw you had it. But I brought...
If you had bags or backpacks, they didn't check them.
Yeah, I was going to say I brought a bag in every single day of the convention, was never asked once to open it to show what was inside of it. Obviously, you think about the logistics at a convention like that, and you realize that maybe it's done for convenience's sake, but at the and
Probably.
Mr. Wizard, one of the Evo founders, has come out and said that there was actually
I think the PAX people did too, and
there was actually undercover presence at the show, and that they're going to look into actually improving security at the next event.
PAX mentioned they're going to be beefing up security as well.
I mean, even just a bag check would be helpful because like there were like lots of people had big backpacks because a lot of them like have fighting sticks and are shoving them in there.
They'd have to like overhaul though, because that would just like so slow down the
and there's already like a big line at the beginning if you go in early for you know, like if you're in your pools early, it takes forever.
Which I mean, like again, that's probably what their idea was, and there hadn't been an incident like that at an event, but it was certainly just kind of a tempting fate of matter of time sort of situation.
I mean, like, not to be too morbid, but I definitely like looking around, I'm like, there's a lot of people and thinking of all these terrible shootings that have been happening over and over again, and it's like, man, like this would like be the kind of place where something like this could happen. Like, it's a scary thought.
I feel that way at Comic-Con a lot as well, even though Comic-Con is a little bit heavier in security levels, but it was like one of those things about like, that's fine to have that sort of security at like Comic-Con or Evo, but you know, it's hard to do it when it's at a little game bar. Like, I don't think
exactly.
Mall, you know
our local esports arena wouldn't probably have this sort of check.
Probably
it's just
not.
like, this is just some people who are coming around having some friendly competition, and then, you know, one bad actor.
And it's just like the same thing where like you can beat up security all you want. I mean, in the end, the real problem is just the access to the guns. You know, like the ability to get the guns that easily. And
do they know if he like brought a gun with him or like went
he
out,
left and came back?
No, but I mean, like, did he go out and buy a gun?
I believe he had the gun.
I
believe he had the gun purchased already.
Okay. I was gonna say, because if it's that easy, I mean, still not good.
Yeah, no, that would be utterly ridiculous if he was like
literally left, bought a gun, came back. But still really bad.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no matter what, I feel like it's kind of like.
Yeah, it's all terrible.
Feels shitty in every single aspect of it, and it kind of feels like another one of those things.
I always feel like these type of conventions, especially ones that are all dedicated around one game, is like a good spot for people to let their guard down, you know, and just kind of be themselves and all that stuff. And, you know, maybe fortunately, some people themselves is not a good person.
I mean, I think that might be the degree of like why security at say Evo is, you know, has been in the past somewhat laxer, is because to a certain degree it's like it is a community. Like this is these are the people that we know and we know of. So like
so people don't think that they have to worry about that. Oh no, it's bad. Like,
yeah. I don't think anything that could have. Yeah, I don't think anything that could have changed that. I think that like there's a lot of like, especially because it's like a video game tournament. There's a lot of scapegoating of video games, which there has been in the past for things like this nature, and of course that's pretty much all. That's all pretty much BS. But I do think that like I wish people would examine more thoughtfully the nature of like anger and losing and pride, and it's not just related to games, but how much like games can contribute to some of the negative like cultural.
Go on any online multiplayer.
And how
people get passionate and call you names. You know, it's like it's just a game.
And it happens in other things too. It happens in sports.
Totally.
It happens in schools.
Right.
Anything competitive, it can be toxic.
Anywhere, right? Like it can be bad anywhere. I think that it's not just a games thing for sure. But I don't want to say that I'm blaming games, but I just want to be like I feel like in general as a whole, like we need to look at society and be like, when you lose at a thing, or when you're denied a thing, or when you're rejected from a thing, how do you react and what's acceptable to react? And I feel like obviously no one thinks gunning people down is acceptable, but like we do think other behaviors are, which are also toxic and like kind of like poison the well, so to speak.
Or even like how people like reactions overall. Like if you mess up in a multiplayer thing, the visceral you get for messing up, like, and that can and that can fuel like people getting even angrier for when they lose or when it's just become a very kind of toxic thing that we've
there's a lot of between that and just the access to guns, there's a lot of issues that are more deeply rooted that we need to work on. Unfortunately, the only thing we can work on immediately is just beefing up security at
security because that's the only thing
that's
going to get anything done in the
and trying to kind of examine the culture around like, hey, you know, maybe it's okay.
No, I know but I'm saying like it's unfortunately the way things work is you end up having to treat the symptoms rather than the root of the actual issue.
Yeah, especially in the current times and kind of political environment and cultural environment that we live in.
Yeah.
All right. It's kind of hard to segue out of that to move into just like a standard video game news.
Switch.
So let's take a quick moment here and just. Okay.
Switch has a bunch of basically every game's coming to Switch. Here's a list. I just put together. Polygon has a huge list from the Nindies live stream they had,
which is still a fantastic name.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Let me know which one I'm gonna announce. Run through them all.
Okay.
Let me know which ones you guys are most excited for, if any.
Okay.
All right. We got Towerfall.
Towerfall's a good game. I wish I played more of Towerfall.
Samurai Gun 2.
I liked Samurai Gun. It's very similar to Towerfall.
Mineko's Night Market.
I don't know what that is.
I think it might be. I don't think it's out. Into the Breach. Already out.
Mineko's a cat thing. Right?
Yeah.
The Neko is.
Yes. It's a cat thing.
Into the Breach. Okay.
I didn't watch
Seems like the right platform
Into the Breach.
Wow, this game looks great. This Mineko game looks great. Why aren't we?
I'm like watching it right now too.
Why didn't we watch the trailer for this in the trailer?
I don't know. We somehow missed it.
Suck.
Because we missed
it. Cool.
You grow cats. It's so cute.
Yeah,
you grow cats?
Awesome.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I have to look at this trailer.
I know.
Yeah, pause. Everybody pause. Look at this trailer.
It's very cute. It's very Stardew Valley-esque.
Neat art style.
Oh, I think I've seen this art style before.
Yeah,
it does look very cool though.
Game.
It looks like
they're like the Men in Black out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
wow, this is so cute. I want to play this. Okay. Anyways.
Yeah.
Sword and sorcery.
Sword and sorcery. And
Sword and sorcery.
Sword and
sorcery.
I still have that on my phone, and I haven't.
Yeah, I have that on my computer. I played pretty far into it, but never finished.
Yeah, same here.
Untitled Goose Game. And I
yes.
Oh yeah.
I guess some were given release dates, such as Hyper Life Drifter.
Hyper Life Drifter.
And that's it.
Hyper Life Drifter.
So what of these games are you most? If you had to buy one of these games, what would you get?
I think Mineko's Night Market because that was
really
cool.
Was great. Also.
Not Sword and Sorcery. I have that on everything.
Game.
The Goose Game looked cool.
I feel like Into the Breach would really benefit from having.
I was thinking
that's
that.
true.
I would totally play a lot more.
The game's great. I already own.
I already own it too, but I feel like I should. Maybe
but like you could.
It's a cheap game. It's $10.
Yeah.
It's $10, so it's totally worth playing.
That'd also be a good like plain game.
Yeah, you can now play it.
I like any game that you can just stop in the middle of it. Like you don't have to.
Yeah.
You're not pressured to do a certain thing.
Those are the games that do best on Switch.
Yeah, that seems fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, what about water and the accumulation on the ground? What?
I love accumulation.
It's weird. This is a weird story. I put it in.
This might be the weirdest story I've ever seen.
So
I mostly like the memes that come out of it.
The internet is so terrible.
Of course it is. It's the internet. It was born to be.
So there was actually an exchange between, was it Insomniac, and, I guess we can call him Angry. I don't know if he was angry. Perplexed fan on Twitter about Puddles. So after showing a screen of a certain area in the game, one fan noticed that there was a considerable downgrade in the scene. He said, "What's with this downgrade yet again?" And then mentioned the puddles. the Insomniac official Twitter said, "It's just a change in the puddle size. There's no downgrade at all." And then when pressured by other people saying that the game looked different and that the puddle size indicated them essentially
being bad,
lying, Insomniac had to actually tweet out that there were plenty of other places with tons of puddle.
So good.
Gosh.
So, yeah, I think I originally saw this one as linked. I don't know if it was 9-volt. It was someone similar to 9-volt.
Yeah, it was not. It was 9-volt.
Twitter
9-volt
saying essentially like this is why I was terrified that Cyberpunk shared gameplay, because
people are just gonna
essentially going to take any small bit of gameplay that you show, and if it looks considerably different to something in the final product, they're gonna look at it as if the game has been, I guess,
the core community director is just like tweeted out again, "I'm telling you, I talked to technical engineering and art staff and looked at the live code from this final build. There is no downgrade."
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So yeah, there were.
This is all back to the old.
Yeah.
You know, harkens back to The Witcher 3. Dark Souls 2 was a big one.
The Dark Souls 2 one was real though.
That was real, but
I mean, a lot of them were real. It's just that
the
like,
Witcher one was also.
But this is
Semi-real.
this strikes me as like so manufactured, as like we have to find something to be mad about so that we can make a giant Reddit post about it.
It's the internet.
It just seems so. It just seems so manufactured. Like it doesn't
ass.
affect the
This game looks like ass. What's with this puddle size? Yeah, but like, yeah. See, for the Dark Souls one though, that was like a complete change in the lighting engine because of the way they ended up changing the gameplay mechanics in the game.
It just sucks. So I feel like you can't win either way. You have to show like pre-rendered cutscene. People like show gameplay, and it's like, here's some gameplay. It's running as best as we can. We haven't optimized it yet. Oh,
it looks like butt.
Looks great. I hope it comes out that way. Comes out real gameplay.
Exactly like
that.
They
took it out. I hate it.
The funny thing about this one is that this one I've seen screenshots, and it's like it's not. It definitely is not a downgrade in the same way. Like you could argue it looks better in the old version than the first one, because that's subjective, fine. But it's like they changed the size of things. The lighting is in a different spot because like the time of day can change in this game, or they move the lighting around to make a different screenshot of the promo shot. And
looking at these now, I might say I think it's a downgrade.
You're an asshole.
I would say if they had ray tracing, make these puzzles look great.
Oh, man,
that's nothing everyone's like, they must have used ray tracing before. You know, before that was a thing that like, you know, you generally
PlayStation's had.
Yeah,
still don't have.
It still don't have it. They changed the art on Spider-Man's like costume. They made it a different kind of finish, but that's just an art direction change. That's not a change in.
That's not a downgrade.
It's not a downgrade. It's not like.
They're just the internet's just looking for something to complain about.
Game and software development is just like a knob. It's like graphics. Good. Oh no, the graphics are too good. We can't. The PS4.
Oh shit! Turn it down.
Turn the graphics back down again. Graphics are down now. Good. It's running smooth.
It's all right, guys. We've downgraded the entirety of the graphics. We did it.
Well, it's because like when you play a game on your PC, you use like graphics good.
Yeah,
great.
I mean,
and people think that they're
just.
People think they're just
that's
clicking
what they do.
like
when
from
they put
great
in a piece
to
of
good.
code, they're like
shadows
great.
good.
Oh, that's
this
too
one.
great.
This is a spot for good. We're gonna put that in.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, that's how you do code. That's how. You
Otherwise, our
optimize.
frame rate goes down, guys.
Yeah. So.
Internet being bad, but I think this is one of the
bad. But this game.
This one's at least more amusing.
No one remembers. Pretty good. So.
Yes, I'm still excited about it.
Oh yeah, get hyped for that Spidey.
But no wonder freaking the Cyberpunk team did not want to.
Yeah.
Did not want to.
Exactly
share the gameplay back in the because this is what people do, and they did it for The Witcher. So CD Projekt Red has already gone through.
I feel like that's why they put all those like, hey, this is not final gameplay. Don't freak out again.
Yeah, and like the narrator like said it multiple times.
Yeah.
Forget Spider-Man.
We want you to know.
Get me pictures of Puddle.
Nice.
All right, let's move on to some other bullshit.
To some current and upcoming games.
Listen, Matt, you love Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door.
Yes.
You made me
Matt
borrow it and
says
play
he
the whole
loves Paper
thing
Mario 1000.
through.
Yeah, wait, I made you
You made
borrow
me.
it.
You said, Ethan,
gave it to
if
you.
you want to
You
be
said-
friends, you have to play this game
said,
entirely through.
Ethan,
You-
I shall
you
return to this spot in nigh 1 year's time. If ye have not completed this game, I shall kill you.
So I
He
had.
did. He
so
did
he
the
had
same
to
thing
do
to
it.
me.
We were living together. We were roommates.
Yeah.
And he's like, I
They
never
were
played
I'm
that
gonna
game.
quit
And I was
playing
like,
Rent
oh,
unless you
it's
pay-
my
unless you
favorite game
buy this.
ever. You should totally play it. And then he played it and was like, that game is really good. And I was like, yeah, it's a very good game.
Yeah, and Matt
That was
loved
that was the
the
story.
Paper
That's
Mario
the story.
Sticker Star. He loved it.
You know what? He did the same thing to me. The difference was I never played it. So
Mm.
Yeah, she's like Mass Effect.
Oh.
She's doing her time with Mass Effect, and then when she's done with that series, then
Doing
we'll
your
see what-
time.
I like how.
Move
Wait,
on
yeah. When's
to-
the part where you get to play my favorite series?
That's Legend of Zelda, and I've already played those. So.
Damn it!
Yeah.
He's right.
Quick, Amber, lie. Say you
It's-
like
It's
Nintendo.
Undertale.
Nintendogs.
Yeah,
Play all the
Nintendo.
Nintendogs.
Play
How do I
Nintendo.
know when I'm
Why Ninte-
satisfied?
Pet the puppy. Pet it.
The Chihuahua and his friends.
The 1,000 Year Door is one of the best games of all time. 1,000 Year Door is one of the best games of all time.
So what is this about Paper
Okay,
Mario?
so-
What's going
Okay,
on?
yeah.
Story. I read
It's
the
a
story, and I
silly-
was like, what is this
It's a
story?
silly story. There's not much
Tis a
news. I threw
silly
it in there
story.
because I thought it was funny that
It's funny.
the
It is
prizes,
funny.
there's a lottery system where you put some money in and you come back and you check your numbers. And you have to, if you return within the first 3 days, you'll get nothing at all, despite it being random to come in and collect your prize. Yeah, these are real Earth days. These are not like in-game time. So it's like,
Oh,
and
like
days,
actual days.
you get there's different tiers of prizes, and the 4th-tier prize, which is the worst one, you get in 4 to 10 days. 3rd tier comes 25 to 35. 2nd tier isn't rewarded until 85 to 115
real-time days. not
Real-time
like
days.
in-game
Man.
The first prize, you have to wait until you hit 335 days or 1 year in a month of real time. Like
Oh my gosh.
between those two times, you can come in and you can get in.
Not a year and a month.
And so it's not random at all. It's bullshit. And here's the thing: is if you try to manipulate the clock and try to make the system go
I was
farther,
gonna say,
if you
just-
revert it
just
back,
end it.
if you
You can go forward, but if you go back to the normal time, the game freaks out.
the
and
game
cheats.
freaks out and says you cheated,
Oh.
and you
What?
have to pay
No.
500
Prove it.
coins to play
500
the-
coins
play
to
the lottery
reset
again.
the game, to reset
It's-
the
It's such a weird thing
Oh
that
my
someone after
God.
like 14 years, this little tiny mini game, they're like, "Hey,
It's bullshit.
This is bullshit.
It's fucking-
What a weird thing to
This
like
sucks.
track your thing to of like, oh, real time days passing. You're gonna get a better or worse.
I hate it when games do that." Like the only time I thought it was
Yeah.
cool was when in Pokemon Gold and Silver, when you had to play the game at night to collect the.
It's
night
really
Pokemon.
funny.
What was it?
It's really funny that this
Ah.
exists because sorry, I gotta write down timestamp again.
Sorry, I knocked the accordion.
Ka-cha!
I want to see what would happen.
Yes.
I'm like a cat,
happened
and
is
it's
this
right
bad sound.
there.
Um,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. The funny thing about this is like I just find it hilarious because it's like you could then like pay 100 coins to change your ticket for a new one, but that just resets the clock.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's
that.
awful.
And then if you do fast forward the time, the character that's running this lottery is like, you changed the system clock, didn't you? And you can like deny that you
No.
did, and he'll give you this big long story that you have to button through about like you're cheating, and then he's like, and you can keep saying no, I'm not cheating, no, I'm not cheating, and he'll
What a
keep
weird
talking to you.
thing.
And you have to pay 500 coins to reset
What
it.
the
so
fuck,
weird.
man?
So weird.
It's hilarious. That game's great. That game's a good game.
I don't know if I hear this story and
This
think
is not
this
the-
game's great.
This is not the point. This is like this weird side thing that you don't even have
I
to
honestly
do.
didn't even
It's-
remember it in the game.
Yeah, I did this like one time. Was like, okay, that was pointless, and then.
Like
Now you
like
know
most
why.
gambling in games, it's like, why would I
That's
do
true.
this? Unless it's Red Dead.
But what it
Redemption or
really
something.
is you pay 10 coins and you get a free mushroom
I don't know,
when you
man.
lose.
Fishing in any
So
game.
you always get a mushroom for 10 coins. That's what you really do.
Okay, it's still weird though.
It is weird. It's really dumb. I think it's hilarious that it doesn't.
I like
affect
that
the
someone
game.
finally figured this out after
Yeah.
years. It's
Yeah.
one guy in a bunker trying to figure out what can I win.
Anyway,
It's hilarious.
Paper Mario Happy Lucky Lottery is actually a ripoff.
Don't play it.
All
Yeah,
right.
just don't play
Save
the
your
game.
coins.
Done.
Or don't.
I'm not
play
playing
the
that game at all.
That game's good.
No, I'm just
play
not
a
playing
real Paper Mario game like Color Splash.
Ooh.
I never played Color Smash, so. But I heard it was bad.
Yeah.
I heard it was fine, but I also heard that it has the same problems as Sticker Star.
Mario and Luigi games are apparently better overall.
Yeah, I mean,
just wish I liked
that's
them more.
unfortunate. Yeah, I liked Bowser's Inside Story. That game's great.
I like the first one.
Bowser's Inside Story is one that's
Superstar
really
Saga.
good.
Yeah,
I played that one in Partners in Time.
Bowser's Inside Story. If you guys like those two, then you should play Bowser's Inside Story because it's very good.
I'm fine.
Time for trailer trash.
Trailer dango lottery table money. Get it done.
It's trailer trash. Every week we collect the hottest, the newest, sometimes really old trailers that we didn't know were
Funko
old, but we
Pops.
thought they were new. Trailers.
Okay, sorry.
All the trailers. We do not review Funko Pops in this podcast yet.
Soon.
But we get all those trailers together. We put them in a playlist. We watch all the trailers, and then we say which one is the winner pretty arbitrarily based on what we liked the best that week.
How we're feeling that week.
If we ate a cookie before the stream or not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this week we got a good 7 or 8 games. We got,
Yeah.
like 9 games
I
here.
didn't eat a cookie for
7
the
or
stream
8
started,
or 9.
so these are
or
all
10.
going to be
10.
terrible.
What are
I
numbers
can't
anyways?
count.
I
Lots
added
of
one.
games. We watched the trailers for them. Let's review them.
Here we go.
Whee!
Taiko
Taiko
no
no
Tatsujin.
Tatsujin. Drum and fun.
What a good name, Drum and Fun. Like, it just shows,
Drum
like,
and
what am I supposed to be
Fun.
doing during this? Well, you're supposed to be drumming and having fun.
Yeah.
Drumming in, fun
Except,
in.
okay, so I really like playing the
Nintendo
Taiko
Switch.
games in arcades.
Yes.
This is on the Switch.
Correct.
So these are all motion controls. How
They
do
are.
you think that's gonna translate?
I
think
don't
it's gonna
think it's going to translate
translate
well
like
at
ass.
all.
It's going to be bad. This plays like ass.
I think this is
You're
gonna
gonna
play like
want-
ass. It's like a bunch of buffalo butt. It's like a poo dripping anus of a raccoon. I'd rather
Okay.
play
Gross.
fucking shit than fucking with this
Okay.
shit.
Okay.
What were they thinking? Okay.
Okay.
That's
Um,
Never mind.
Yeah, the thing that makes the Taiko games fun is the feedback. You hit
Yeah,
a drum
you're
and it
actually
bounces back.
hitting
You
something.
you're hitting things.
Yep.
Like it feels good.
Yep.
Just doing this, like waving your hands back and forth, it'll work. I bet it'll work just fine. I don't think it's gonna feel very good, and I don't think.
Yeah,
I
It's
think
maybe.
the
You're not gonna-
drum
you're not
will
gonna
be
get my
there, but the
feedback.
fun won't be there.
Yeah.
I feel
That's a
like
I
good
think,
point.
and you're not gonna get a good
I
feedback.
feel like the
of
drum
when you-
isn't there.
You're right, the
though.
drum
That's
isn't
the
there.
whole thing.
So therefore, the fun goes away with it.
There's no drum, no fun.
Yeah.
No, you
might-
know what I think? Okay, so first of all, this is real. I think this is my real feelings. I feel like this game
Oh,
will be
real
fine,
feelings.
and I'm excited
Yeah,
to.
you know what? It looks. I really like the style.
like it.
Yeah.
The,
They've always had great
I like
stuff.
Kirby.
they're leveraging Nintendo license because Kirby's in
Yeah.
there.
There.
He's
I
in
love
there.
I love the Rhythm Heaven kind of vibe it gives off with the character.
Yeah, with those
design.
mini games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
with
mini
the,
games look pretty fun.
The baseball. But you know what I actually think
This.
is I
Yes?
think that Nintendo, after Wii Music's presentation on the Nintendo stage,
Okay.
they're looking for the next Ravi drums. So they're having kids train to become the next Ravi drums in this
There you
game.
go. That's how they're
by just
doing it.
air drumming.
It's a long con.
Planet of the Apes, Last Frontier, Xbox One
maniacs!
launch trailer. You blow it up. This
This is supposed to be like a
Yeah.
like a
Telltale.
licensed game.
This is a Telltale
Didn't
style.
we watch a trailer for this a while back?
Yeah.
A teaser, like a
I think
long
we
time
did,
ago now.
But now it's coming out. I've heard
For
very
realsies.
not great things about it.
Yeah,
but
I don't think it looks very good.
I think that's what's
Mm.
weird about it, is that like certain parts of the game look really good, and then like
Yeah.
overall
looks-
it looks kind of bad.
It
though.
looks
It's bland.
like very high budget, but very low budget at the very same time. It's kind
Yeah.
of weird how
Yeah.
they pull that off. Because like the
They did
ape,
it.
like the ape character models actually look really good in specifically in low lighting. But as soon as like it
Weird.
shows long distance shots of like the environments and stuff in very like bright lighting, like this scene, it just
Mhm.
looks kind of weird.
it just looks
Like
cheap.
Yeah, and like the environments look flat and it's weird.
It just reminds me of one of those like budget. It reminds me a lot of anytime I think of like a quintessential like budget looking game. I think of, oh god, what's that? Was it Stranglehold?
Stranglehold?
Yeah, I don't know why I think
the
John Woo one.
The John Woo one?
Yeah.
That is the sequel to
Oh,
Hard
man.
Boiled?
Yeah, I think of that because everything just kind of looks like it blends all together. Like it's just one tone.
That was a fun game.
I like that game a lot.
That game was so dumb and fun.
Slide over
Just shoot guys.
But that's what I'm getting. I get that vibe, that kind of muted color vibe where everything just kind of blends together.
This game would be better if you could precision shoot someone in the testicles, like in Stranglehold.
I mean, honestly, wouldn't all better.
I bet apes could shoot that. They could probably hit some people in testicles.
Probably.
All right. Yeah. What about Onimusha? Is that how you say it?
Onimusha
Warlords.
Warlords.
Onimusha Warlords. This is the announcement trailer. It is a remaster of, I guess, Warlords? Is that
Yeah, so the original Onimusha, I believe, was a PS2 exclusive, but following the release of the Xbox, they got a version, an improved version of the original Onimusha called Onimusha Warlords.
That's where it
and
came
I believe
from.
that this is the version. That's the version that's getting the remaster.
Okay, this does look like an Xbox game that's been up-resed.
Yeah, that explains everything.
So what is
like
this
Looks
gameplay like?
like an old game from that era.
Definitely looks like an old game.
Old 3D Ninja Gaiden.
It looks like a Resident Evil game that has a bit more combat, like to it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? A little bit more combos maybe, or some moves you can do.
It's got all your favorite Capcom things.
I believe because I was
controls.
yeah, exactly. I believe because these games were rated M at the time, and I was too young. I pretty much missed out on the Onimusha
Yeah, I never
series
played them.
I didn't play them either.
at the
We're all too
time.
young.
Now's the best time to get in. You know,
So-
you can play it on your
Finally.
Switch if you want.
A lot of people are excited for this.
Yeah, just none of us have any
Yeah, I think it's
Any
just we don't have any
anything
kinda
about it.
nostalgia for it, or didn't really like them.
Yeah.
Honestly, it looks a lot like when I played Ninja Gaiden. Is it Black was the one on Xbox? Or is it the new one?
Ninja Gaiden Black was on Xbox. I can't remember if that was.
I think that's
I
one
can't remember
played.
which order that was in though.
I just remember I got stuck on the second boss and couldn't beat it, so I was like, okay.
So you got good feelings about this one.
There's this weird guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? There is a game on this that Ricardo definitely has a lot of feelings and nostalgia
Yeah.
about. And
I got feelings about too.
Oh yeah.
No. Just
No.
me.
No.
I'm not allowed to have feelings about this game.
Yeah.
No.
Only one person can have one feeling at a time. Ricardo claimed this one, but it's Streets of Rage 4.
All right. Streets of Rage 4. What are your feelings about this?
Rage.
Amber, you played this game.
Yes. It's
That's
alright.
it. Okay, Ricardo.
I remember it was hard, so I wasn't very good at it, but I had a lot of fun.
I never played Streets of Rage,
Me
so
either.
I
See,
don't
I
care.
was a
I
I was
know-
a
okay.
Sega Genesis kid growing up. I didn't have the Super Nintendo. I had the Sega Genesis. But one of the games series that I rented probably most often was the Streets of Rage series. Specifically, I believe I played 2 first, and then I played 1 and then 3. 2 was I
only
think
played
is
2.
2 I think is the one that most consider to be like the best
It's a good
one. So we have iconic Streets of Rage
Axel.
characters Axel and Blaze returning, aka
Yeah.
the generic dude and the generic lady. But they have some pretty
think-
cool character designs in this.
She was from the third one, I think.
Blaze, I think, started in the second one. I know there was a female character in the first one, but I don't know if that was Blaze. There was
Yeah.
also in 2 and 3 there was a young kid who was playable on rollerblades called I believe he was called Skate.
I think you're right.
Who
Skate
I was
3?
hoping would make an appearance in here, but maybe he's DLC.
Maybe he's later. Yeah.
There you go. I think I always
Skate
played as
4?
Axel, so I was very boring apparently.
Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah.
No Skate being announced. Skate 4 is coming out
Oh!
soon. They're hiding it.
I think the one thing I will say about these games is that 2 and 3 are, I think, still great beat 'em ups. You can go back and play them right now.
Yes.
The thing about these games too was that they were console games. They weren't like arcade ports of they weren't like console
Arcade
ports of
beat-ups.
arcade
Yeah.
beat 'em ups. So
Yeah.
they didn't quite feel quite as cheap as a lot of those games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's some of the
Yeah.
hype with beat 'em ups. Like I like playing them for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I died,
Mhm.
and like it's obvious they're just like throwing too many enemies at me, and I'm just gonna like it's like insert quarter now, and
Yeah.
that's not fun anymore.
But beyond that, I remember that 2 and 3 were definitely superior, but 1 had a great screen clearing assist move that essentially panned the screen 1 tile over and had a police car pull up, and then out of the window comes an armored policeman with a rocket launcher who just shoots it up into the sky and then shoots it onto the next screen and blows
I don't
up
think
all
I
the
played
bad
one. I
guys
think
in
I
the
played
screen.
2 and 3. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
pretty alright reveal
Yeah.
trailer.
This is neat.
What do you guys think about the
neat
music?
animation. The
Love you.
music was good. The animation's great.
I don't
It
remember
looks good.
but
Love the
I'm sure-
character designs.
Yeah.
It looks cool. It's,
Cool
it's
animation.
Give me nostalgia, happiness. Nostalgia,
Yes.
happiness. That's a word.
Yeah.
What?
The next one was for the Dark Pictures
Pictures.
Anthology, which this particular game is going to be called Man of Medan.
It's kind of
yeah.
a weird name.
So
Not the
this-
Dark
Medan.
Pictures Anthology. The Man of Medan.
The Man of Medan.
Man of
Sounds
Medan.
like a-
Man
like
of Medan.
Sounds like a
The
start of
Man
a riddle.
Medan. I'm into discipline.
So these are the people who
Um,
made Until Dawn. They don't have the
yes.
Sony tech, so they're being published
Nope.
by Bandai Namco. So
Yeah,
some people
the,
are like,
the tech, the models notice a little bit not as
Yeah.
good as
"Oh,
they
it's
were.
good. They're still pretty good. Like it's still a good
They're not the
looking game.
worst.
Yeah.
But like it has a little bit of that telltale thing of like you can tell like someone is going and now move arm and like rather than like just a motion capture thing, it looks
Yeah.
a little bit more like they're being manipulated a little bit like
Yeah,
models.
And it's hard to tell, but the voice acting seemed just okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
there-
anyways,
But this game Until Dawn was pretty good.
I love
so...
Until Dawn. I will
it-
finish it one day.
There's that, and yeah, and I have Hidden Agenda and stuff and played it. Someday we'll have to.
See,
Oh
I-
yeah, that game seems cool.
I like Until Dawn a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but do you think that part of the reason I think we all enjoyed Until Dawn initially was because it was so unexpected that it would be like
That,
that
and
solid
Pierre
of a
Stormare.
game? Oh,
That,
and
and I
Peter
think-
Stormare as well.
Uh-huh.
Speaking
That, and I
of
think, that and I think that Until Dawn really played into the whole the schlock of what it was going
Mhm.
for,
Yeah.
right? Like it
you
wasn't
just
going
got
for,
monked.
it was it wasn't
Boom,
going
you
for
got
like
monked.
true terror. It was going for like teen cabin in the woods, like
Mhm.
it's a slasher movie. You
It
know,
hits like all the tropes.
It
in
does.
there.
It hits a lot of tropes, but it knowingly hits them.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see if this is going to go for that kind of effect, or are they going to go with like a we're trying to make a real serious like scary
yeah,
game. Like
I
Until Dawn was scary too, but it also there's definitely like kind of winking at its at its audience. a little
Yeah,
bit.
especially with the whole anthology thing, which means that there's gonna be, these are probably
They're
gonna be
each
shorter.
game is going to be separated and its own story completely
Yeah.
separate from each other. I think they're going to do. They apparently said they're going to do all kinds of horror.
Okay.
So
Oh,
if
all
Until
kinds
Dawn
of
is the
horror.
slasher movie,
This
I don't
is
know.
like
if
the
Uh,
Jaws. I don't know.
This could,
Well,
I
no,
don't know.
this
This
looks
could
like
a
ghosts.
This could be-
monster?
I was gonna say
ghosts.
Until
It
Dawn's
could be
almost
like-
everything. Like it has ghosts.
Yeah.
It's like a slasher.
Monsters.
It's mostly like a slasher movie.
Tongue
like
in
it's
cheek.
Main
Yeah, I guess
one
it's the main thing.
with scenes and stuff like that. I think like I wouldn't be surprised if cosmic horror comes in at one of these games. I don't know if it's this one or if it's
Right,
a later
right.
one. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a like psychological, brain like mental horror.
Ooh, mental horror.
Yeah,
Body
I would.
horror.
Well, and Until Dawn, like the story, and I don't know how much of the dialogue they wrote, but the story
Aliens.
was written by two like known like horror directors, writers, like
Mhm.
that they pulled in for this. So it's like I don't think that they are connected to this at all. Like, so
I don't
that
know.
I have no clue. So
knows?
that was like I think one of the big things that maybe they had going for Until Dawn, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
We'll
see.
see. I'm
That-
interested.
These,
That
I'll
these
probably
games
check
are
it
going to
out.
be
Stormare.
short. These games are going to be a lot shorter. They're going to
Mhm.
be
I feel like just for the
like,
production
one
value,
sitting.
I'm interested
It'll-
just to try the one sitting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because like
Over.
Until Dawn was definitely like 8-10 hour game. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
one sitting would have been tough. Like you could do it, but it's a long.
Yeah, it was a
What's a
long.
long one sitting game?
Yeah.
These ones are going to be like apparently like 2 or 3 hours kind of thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Um,
That'd be a good time to have some people over and play it.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Spelunky 2 gameplay trailer.
Wait,
so we
wait,
saw
wait, do you know when that's
announcement
coming out?
trailer
Sorry,
a while ago.
do you know when that's coming out?
2019. It says at the end.
2019. Yeah.
This looks a lot
Spelunky
like
2.
Spelunky. Yeah.
It looks like some Spelunky.
Do you like Spelunky? We got more.
I
Looks
played
like
very
new
little of
and
the
more
first
Spelunky.
Spelunky, actually.
Yeah,
Spelunky's
people love
great.
Spelunky. I think it's good. It's not really my style of game. I did play a lot of
I'm
it,
not good at it, but I really enjoyed playing it.
I respect it more
really
than I
tried
enjoy
to
it, I
get
think.
hard. Yeah.
You're
I actually
like,
enjoyed
dude,
watching people play it more because there are people that are much better at this game than me. It's pretty good.
oh my god.
It's very
I'm
cool
just
though,
watching
and I'm
trailer.
curious how much it seems very, very similar to the first one though. Like it seems like
The
a lot more
mechanics seem the
mechanics.
same, but yeah, it just seems like there's more. Like there's like mounts and different traps and like different monsters.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's
But,
also a
um,
great
also
sloth.
Rafi D. Sloth
Yeah.
in it.
The soft's pretty good. Yeah, I mean it's like I feel like that's people that really enjoyed these games, that's what they wanted was more of this, so they're delivering it. I'm still curious to play it and see it.
Yeah.
Because like half the fun of Spelunky was like exploring and finding out what killed you, how you killed stuff, like what like
weird
the
gimmicky
weapons.
thing you can do to escape this particular situation. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it
so
looks like
I
there's
feel
more
like
for that.
yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if they lean more into. Sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that this game looks like it's just gonna be like, it looks graphically a little bit better, and they're gonna be adding like a ton of stuff. It looks like just in terms of like
The
little
lava
gameplay,
effects.
little gameplay tweaks.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can ride on animals. We've seen that. I bet there's gonna be a bajillion new weapons, new traps, new level. Like it's just gonna be kind of like
More
just,
stuff.
like more Splunky, like different and more.
Yep.
There's almost some returning stuff in there. There's a jetpack in there and all that kind of stuff. But yeah,
And the cavemen are there, and the devil imp guys are there. So yeah, there's a lot.
Devil Imp.
Devil Imp.
We have
Devil Imp.
Hover. Which is a
Hover.
Switch, which
It's
is
been in
coming to
early
Switch.
access for a while, or some sort of like.
I think
it's been
so. It
around.
might already be out on like
Steam.
consoles and Steam like that. But this
Maybe.
is the Switch trailer for it, and it looks like a pretty cool little Switch game. It does seem like a lot of multiplayer, very multiplayer heavy.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I
and
didn't think of
also-
that.
It
came out in 2017 for PC and it has
Oh,
very
okay.
positive reviews on Steam.
Oh,
Okay, well now it's coming to Switch.
It
and
looks
Now it's coming to
like
Switch.
the immediate influence is that
Yes.
they played a lot of Jet Set radio or
That
Jet
seems
Grind
to be the
Radio
case.
feature.
Yep.
It
And
also is like an open world one of those though, instead of like
yeah. The
Yeah.
environment looks huge, and obviously, like Ethan already said, there's a lot of people just skating around together in this trailer, so it looks like a
Together.
pretty.
yeah, it just looked neat. It looked fun.
Yeah.
I think I would be bad at it, but it looked really
Yeah.
cool when it was played correctly.
Yeah. But it definitely looks fun. It makes me want to grind on rails and such. As I do.
Yeah,
as you do.
Mm-hmm.
just like Sonic.
It's,
Just like Sonic.
Just like
You gotta
Sonic.
go
Him
fast.
and I, we're as one.
That was a weird when like video game developers finally like discovered that grinding was like a thing.
That was in like
So-
it was in
putting
every
it,
game
like,
for
in
like
every
Get
game.
soaps.
5.
Get your
Get
soaps.
your soaps. Sonic or soaps.
Sonic
sponsor.
Yeah, he did.
grinds.
Sponsor.
Sponsored
first influencer.
Yeah, you're right.
Sonic was the first in-game ads or in media ads had never been done until
In
Sonic.
media ads are different than a character who's like, I'm wearing my
It was
soaps.
influencers. It's like,
Influencer.
hey, yo, it's your boy Sonic here. Got these new soaps here officially from Soaps. We're gonna check them out.
Hashtag
Try them
ad.
out now.
Hey,
Hashtag ad.
you get 10%
Saucy.
off. Use my name, hot dog, chili
Chili
dog.
dog.
Chili
Excuse
dogs.
me.
Excuse me,
I'm
sorry.
gonna go ahead and check them out. Let's go check them out. Jump cut to outside. So they went pretty well. I think I like them. Good grinding.
Good for grinding.
Good grind.
Untitled.
Hashtag sponsored.
Spirit of the North. Spirit of the North.
Spirit of the
Oh,
North.
okay.
Spirit of the
Spirit
North.
of the North.
Spirit of the North.
Let's just say words
Spirit
now.
of the
Spirit of the
North.
North. This game looks pretty, and you play as a fox.
Yep,
You
that's
play the-
all you
do
need to
play the
describe
fox.
this game.
It
It's a
does look
beautiful
pretty.
game.
It looks like it takes place in Scotland or Scandinavia. I'm not sure if that's the case, but
Scotland.
I was thinking more north.
Scotland.
Like
those are north.
Canada.
No, those like arches.
Could
those
be
are very
Canada.
like Celtic looking arches at that one point.
You're a Celtic-looking arch. I'm sorry, I
Damn.
didn't mean that.
It's
Podcast got
in
violent.
That's the kind of
Alaska.
abuse I have to deal with.
Yeah, see, it looks like Alaska.
It's
or
in
Canada.
Alaska.
This looks like Journey Fox game.
Yeah.
Fox game. Is this a side-scrolling game? Because all the times we saw a fox, it was walking along the camera like that.
Tokyo Jungle.
Yeah.
Finally.
You know, Tokyo Jungle is the one true Fox game, I suppose.
Game we've been waiting for.
One
It
true
looks
Pomeranian
kinda
game.
side-scroll-y.
I mean, it's obviously 3D art, but I wonder if the game is actually just like
A 2D
Also,
level.
there's a weird volcano thing. Sky
it's spewing out
paint?
red, like glowy
Blood?
things into the sky.
Yeah.
Goop.
I don't know. It looks like
Jello?
you're a fox on a quest. We don't know what you're doing, but you're pretty.
You're the spirit of the north.
Yeah,
You're
I like
what?
this Fox model. Looks good.
Fox
on
sounds
a
good.
quest.
The font's good. I have that font downloaded on my computer.
What's its name?
I don't remember. That's a good
Spirit of
question.
the north. Spirit of the north is in
Spirit of the
font as
North.
well.
Spirit of the North.
They're like,
name
we
of the
need a
font.
name for this
Okay.
game.
The font.
font
What should we
just
call it?
browse fonts until we
Calibri?
find-
Browse
No.
fonts. Just write it out.
Wingdings? No.
That's
Futura.
stupid. Come on. Come on, Jeff. Think of something.
Helvetica New Light?
Futura condensed?
Impact. I like it. It has impact.
Comic Sans.
There
Nope,
we go.
still
We've done it.
Oh, Undertale.
Untitled Goose Game.
Oh, you mean Sans, who's confirmed for Smash Brothers
Smash?
Ultimate?
Oh, yeah. The new Smash.
I wish.
Untitled Goose Game.
This was
You
a
get
charm.
to
This is a charming.
You get to be an asshole goose.
Yeah, are you alright over
It's
there?
a charming game.
It's so
It's such a
charming.
charming trailer. Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah, I say it.
I said it.
I said it. I ain't afraid who hears me say it.
I'm charmed.
Because I know you guys all care. The font's called Lombok.
Lombok.
I like it.
Lombok.
But what about
May-
this goose?
Maybe
This
that's
goose,
the name of the fox. Oh,
Goose
This goose has no name.
This
Goose is an
goose
asshole,
is-
and you're the goose.
you are the goose.
I don't understand the.
You're a
I don't
horrible
understand the
goose.
gameplay of this, but I like it a
I
lot.
bet there's gonna be like little mini missions.
Yeah, it
like
looks
little
like
do
there's
the
some
washing
kind of
area.
objective.
Yeah.
I wanna
Like,
get-
do this, do that.
I was gonna say, I
It's
wonder if the
like-
objective is really vague, and then you have to figure out within the environment what it
means.
is.
I bet-
Like
I-
illegal.
Maybe.
Yeah, I bet it'll be like the name of like do the washing or whatever. Like it pops at the very end saying like washing completed or whatever,
Yeah.
and it'll be like that, and you just get a list of those, and you got to figure out was that actually mean in this level.
Yeah.
It looks
I'm
fun.
getting some-
It looks
It
I
like a
don't know
fun
why,
game.
but I feel like this could be like a hidden my game by mom vibe, maybe like kind of like weird,
be.
wacky stuff. Maybe not as irreverent, but you know,
It's got a
Maybe
fun
not
art style.
as,
puzzle box type
Have
situation
you guys
here.
ever had any
Yeah.
kind of interaction with a goose or swan?
Yes.
Yeah?
Wait, have we ever what by a goose or swan?
Like had any kind of like interaction with a goose or swan?
Yes, geese are mean.
Didn't one try to attack Tetra?
Yep, one try to attack
One
our
try to
puppy.
attack your dog?
Well, I mean, she was our dog is a small puppy and a terrier, so she's just like animal. I will go up to animal and bark at it. And Goose
She's
is
like
like,
excited.
nah, I ain't having
Yeah.
that.
It's like geese with like their
With their
goslings,
goslings.
and so they were being protective, so
Oh,
they
yeah.
started hissing and like flapping their wings, and I was like, nuh-uh, we're like I right.
I was
I was
chased
like,
a lot I was chased a lot by geese as a young child. So,
Oh no.
So I know I know that feeling.
This is an ongoing saga.
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna say.
it's
you-
not
you
just,
just like-
Multiple times, multiple incidents. Every time I saw a goose, they're like, I freaking don't
Geese
like
are
the look of
assholes,
that guy.
Wow.
I'm gonna get him.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's me, huh? It's not the geese.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
not
Wow,
the
this.
goose.
victim blaming. No, that's not.
Animals can see into you. They
Uh,
can see what kind of person you truly are.
They
You
can
were
sense
They know,
fault blamed
they
by
know,
these
they know if you've been,
games.
they know if you've been
Naughty or
committing
nice.
violence against women in streams.
Anyway, moving on. Except we're moving back now.
I know. Moving on. Lindsay,
The
I want to say
last-
there is a great show goose at Disneyland, and there is indeed a great Canadian goose at Disneyland who is always at the same spot and just hangs out and is very nice. So not every goose
I've
hates
never-
me.
Wow, that's really funny. I've never actually seen a goose that is nice. All geese are
I've
mean as
seen
far as I know.
ducks that are really chill at Disney.
ducks
Yeah,
are
ducks
awesome.
are usually cool.
Ducks are
Ducks are
fine.
Geese,
Geese
geese and
changes
swans. Swans
Yeah.
are also
Yeah,
complete,
swans are also jerks.
complete jerks.
everything. You know,
all
it's
of them,
also
they don't like people.
jerks.
Tip it over police car.
Don't nod.
Don't know.
Yes.
They are just straight up jerks.
No, police are jerks. Tip over all their cars.
Okay, done.
We
Next.
are
don't know.
cops.
But we are cops.
We are
No.
cops.
Oh,
We
that's
didn't
right.
get that no high DUI money, and I'm not gonna be a cop.
All right, fine.
I forgot I
Anyway,
wanted
anything
data. I
to
wanted
not
data
talk
space
about this
cop,
trailer.
so.
Oh, whatever.
Life
The
is
trailer's
Strange 2,
fine.
baby. That's what
Yep.
we're talking about.
Yep.
It's about two brothers who seem to have done a bad with the police and they're trying to run away.
But we are cops.
We play as cops.
Shoot.
The older brother has done a bad and
I-
maybe has a power.
I know that one thing is that they're apparently traveling from Washington State to
Oregon?
Mexico to go
Oh,
back
that's
to
a
their
long
Whoa.
way.
It's
That's a long way.
It's a long way. That's the story apparently, is to go back to their their like mother's or father's hometown.
Oh.
Because they get in trouble with the police and have to go on the run, and that is where they feel like they will be
Boys
safest or
on
something. Amber really liked Life is Strange 1. I did
Yep.
too. Ethan, you thought it was like fine, right?
That was
You thought
good. It was all right. Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it a lot.
I put it in the positive
Amber-
section. It's a
Yeah.
positive
Okay,
game.
that's good. Yeah.
What do you guys think about this one? Ricardo, we don't need to know your opinion. We already know.
You ate Warren. Next.
I am less. I don't know. I kind of Amber said she wasn't super interested, and I was like, you know, what? I kind of felt the
Yeah.
same way after she explained. You said I'm not really. My favorite parts about the old game were like doing like normal high school things, and it's like
yeah.
I don't really connect with running away from, having a police situation.
multiple
Yeah, and like crossing state lines with like a brother. I've never had any of those experiences, so I guess for me it's a little less relatable, so that makes me a little less interested. But I feel like they bought enough goodwill for me in the first Life is Strange.
Yeah, and I still want to
that
play.
I'm still interested in seeing what they would take with this.
And I still want to play Captain Spirit
Yes,
too, because
that
that
is on our
actually
to-do.
apparently a tangential, not a very big relation to this game, but apparently like the kid in Captain Spirit is like the next door neighbor of these kids.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I bet
I
he
didn't
will
know
not
this
be in it for
connection.
very long because these kids go on the
Leave.
run, and I doubt that kid does. as
He
well,
follows
so
them.
He just follows them. I don't know, maybe.
Hey,
But
guys.
like it seems like he'll just show up as like a side character at the very beginning, and
Yeah.
maybe that'll be it. But
Road trip movies are road trip movies. Road trip like style of narrative design is always interesting because you can just always have like different characters pop
yeah,
in. So
there's definitely
that's
some stuff you can do with it for sure.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, it's just there was definitely. I mean, not to say that Life is Strange was super like relatable. Like I've never had the power to rewind time.
What?
Like I know,
Never?
it's- I
Never,
puberty was weird for me,
never.
but I've never been looking for a missing person. Like my teacher did not kill people. Spoilers. But it led up to that stuff. Like it starts off as you being this very much this average kid, average high schooler.
There's
just
still
worrying
lots of
about
average high
stuff.
school moments throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, and it's like it's hard to know from this, but this seems like it's mostly hitting on the first episode, and it's like it feels like like you're going like bad stuff happens, you and your brother bolt, and you gotta go, and it's like
You gotta go.
it's like shoot, like all right, like I don't know, like I'm with Ethan, like I like the first one like enough that they've won enough goodwill for me to definitely check this out. Like I want to see this, but I'm like after seeing this trailer, I was less enthused.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would say.
Yeah.
That's the last game.
That's
That's
the last
it.
game.
So it's time for us to decide which trailer wins this week's trailer trash.
Whose cuisine reigns supreme?
Supreme
Yes.
Okay.
Kids
good.
cuisine.
Lean cuisine.
Well, you fail.
My boy KC.
I want the chicken nuggets.
I want to put
Gross.
the
Those are all
sprinkles on the
gross.
They were
brownie and
all
overcook
gross.
it.
Yes.
Those are all gross.
I only liked the pudding. That was the only good.
You mean that this brownie that's supposed to be actually a brownie, but you cook it wrong every time and it turns into pudding? You just eat it.
Oh yeah, then yeah, that's the one.
That's my favorite part
Gross.
about those.
Okay. This is actually pretty tough. There are a lot of good trailers this
Yeah.
week, and there are a couple that are not so great, but there's a lot of good ones.
Well, I think definitely Planet of the Apes is a high contender.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah, I don't know. This is actually kind of tough.
I'm between two.
I'm between two, I think, as well.
I'm between 10. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Ricardo, what are you two?
Oh, all right.
What are you two?
My 2 are Untitled Goose Game.
Yes, that's
Okay.
that's my one as well.
Streets of Rage 4.
Right.
Not the other one.
I'm kind of
not mine.
I'm kind of
between Splunky 2 and Goose Game.
I'm kind of like I feel like we're rating on how. You know what? Untitled Goose Game was a pretty good trailer.
It's a good trailer.
It's just a little. I felt like for me, it's just a little.
It's a peaceful day. It's a lovely morning in the village.
I just feel like it's a little.
You are a horrible goose.
Sparse.
Yeah, like there's not a whole lot of meat to that trailer. Like it's just here's the style, the vibe we're going for, and that's it. And I like the vibe, but I feel like I need a little more.
So then, what is a meaty trailer to you?
That's why I'm kind
Shows your meat.
I'm kind of thinking Spirit of the North a little bit.
Spirit of the North.
That's not even less.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, us saying it out loud, I feel like it does seem like there is less.
Now that I made my choice, I'm taking back.
I don't know.
Well, I would say like Spirit of the North is going more on, whereas Untitled Goose Game is going more on humor and like possible mechanics, but since they don't really spell out what the mechanics are.
No, Spirit of the North. Forget that. You're right.
I was trying to help.
No,
I mean, you can still vote for Spirit of the North. There's just like your reason.
I know. To be honest, I'm not like completely sold on any of these trailers. I think they're all pretty solid, decent trailers, but nothing that really stood out.
Yeah, nothing that blew my mind, but I like them.
I think I'm between Streets of Rage 4 and the Dark Anthology.
Streets of Rage.
I'm between Splunky 2 and Goose Game.
All right, final decisions. Let's do this.
All right, pick.
Ricardo, what's your final decision?
Poison.
Goose Game.
Go with your heart.
Okay, Matt.
Goose Game.
All right, Amber.
I'm gonna go with Streets of Rage 4.
I'm gonna go with Goose Game.
I should have picked Streets of Rage 4 too.
I don't know why.
Ricardo, I thought we had this.
Could have split.
Tactical voting there.
Oh well.
Well,
Goose Game's still good.
Untitled Goose Game is the winner
of this week's trailer trash. Please call us up to collect your reward.
Yes.
Your award.
It's here.
What is it?
It is a trophy, like the one we give out every week. The trailer,
the trash trophy.
Trophy. The one
this week.
Oh, the TTT, the triple T.
The triple T.
The triple T. The trailer trash trophy.
Tiners, Tivins, and Tives.
Yep.
We're rolling out.
All right, we're rolling out of this podcast. Which is to say, it's over. You can check out all of our streams of the podcast if you're listening to this on twitch.tv/pixel_legends. You can also check out our individual streams, which will be hosted there. Our YouTube page is Pixel Legends with 1L, and all of the streams that Ricardo did for JoJo and Amber did for Mass Effect are hosted on there. And our website is pixellegendswith1l.com. And yeah, if you like the podcast, if you want to listen to this on an audio format, it's go check us out on iTunes, give us a subscription. If you are watching it in a video format, you'll be able to see Ethan and Ricardo just uppercutting over and over again until the end of the podcast.
Not quite sure why, but
I'm just gonna go ahead and keep talking just to see how long they're gonna keep this up. If I can, way out longer than they can, I think I can just keep going. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep going.
Then I'm gonna leave.
Our
if you guys are doing
page is twitter.com/pixel_legends. And I'd like to thank Amber for being on this week's episode.
Oh, thank you.
And I'd like to thank Ricardo for being on this week's episode.
Oh,
and I'd like to thank Ethan for being on this week's episode.
Tiger!
I don't know why we're just into punching right now, but I like it.
I don't know.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up. We're just going to punch this podcast out of here. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Ah!